Susan, you want to take it away?
I sure do. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Susan Kenyon. I work out of the Portsmouth, New Hampshire Market Center, and welcome to Ignite. So if you're looking for the first session of Ignite, congratulations, you're in the right spot. I come from the perspective of production. I'm an in the field agent, just like all of you. So that's my background. I've had my license since 2013. I've worked primarily with my husband, who has had his license since 2009. We service Southern New Hampshire and Southern Maine. So when I teach Ignite, I always come from the perspective of production, of feeling like I always want to earn my unfair share, and coming from a place of gratitude and contribution. So that's going to be the flavor whenever you hear me speak of how I'm going to be teaching class. And the other thing I'm going to say is I really love that so many of you have your Zooms on. If you don't have your Zooms on, please put them on. It makes it so much more interactive for all of us doing this to feel like we are together if you have your Zooms on. If you have questions, feel free to raise your digital hand, and also feel free to just interrupt me and speak right out so that it can be interactive. I'm happy to go into more detail on anything, or if you have an experience or something that you want to share, let's get to know each other today during these next 2.5 hours. But we do have some more people from 463 Market Center here. Tim?
I'm not Tim, but he waved me on. I'm
Oh,
Zoe Kirkpatrick. I'm also from 463 in Portsmouth. I'm the launch director there. It's good to see many of you from 463. And I'm looking forward to meeting those of you from all around the region. Thanks for being here today.
Hey guys,
awesome.
my name's Tim Lindsay. I'm the productivity coach for Market Center 463 out of, I'm going to use Greater Portsmouth. There's Greater Hartford, there's Greater Portland. I'm going to start saying Greater Portsmouth because, yeah, I think we need to say that. So we said it. I'm really glad you guys are here. Please stick and stay. I'm not going to lie. You've got one of the best agents, teachers, ALC members on planet America teaching today. So moving forward, keep plugging in. And we said this before everybody got here, before we got started. The most important part of Ignite is the class content is important, beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's what you're going to be doing in between the classes. It's the activities you're doing that you're learning, that you're baking into your daily schedule to grow your business. And to our conversation earlier with Ashley Moon and anybody else, we're going to talk about building your database on a regular basis. That is going to be ultimately what you're going to have when you step away. If you picture your future self stepping away from real estate, and you think about, well, when I move on, I'm going to sell my business. If that's even been a seminal thought for you, it boils down to a thumb drive and the data on that thumb drive. So if you're underwhelmed by the amount of people that aren't currently in your database, we're going to talk about Command, because everyone at our company has access to Command, whatever you're using, Brivity, all that kind of stuff, whatever your database is, whatever your CRM is. Getting the headcount in there to continue to grow is going to be the way you're going to be able to scale your business easiest. So make sure that you're constantly adding your Mets and unmets to that conversation on a regular basis. And we'll talk about that for the rest of the month for sure. We're really pleased that you're here, and thank you for your time. Melissa, are you online?
I'm on.
Perfect. So Melissa's here.
Hello, Melissa. We can't hear you.
This is the best part. So our tech person is struggling with their tech. You can't make it up. I mean, I'm enjoying this immensely. Oh,
You're a loner.
they're a loner. She's blaming the tech. Here we go. But
How about now?
no, do you want to just yelling over here? Yelling over here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get off the computer.
Yeah, do that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
So Melissa Market Center tech trainer over here, and here we go. KWCLM. We had. I just got a face. Anyway, we were having a technical difficulty that we just mastered, so we're good. Yeah. So, but anyway, so great to be here, and yeah. I'll be here for any more technical difficulties that I obviously caused myself.
Yes.
So, all right.
Perfect.
And through our mistakes. Yes, awesome. We
All
appreciate
right.
your patience.
Just getting settled in, and the Wi-Fi's, it's great. We've been knocked in and out a couple of times, but take it away, Susan, take it away.
Okay, here we
Thanks,
go,
kiddo.
people. You bet. So awesome. We're all here. We're in the right place. And let me find my arrow button here for next slide. Oh, that wasn't what I meant to do. See, I'm already having a technical difficulty. Okay. So today is the kickoff for Ignite. This is the calendar. It's pretty much going to be every day, every business day in the month of September, where you're going to be doing all your content here for the Zoom class. And today we have a little bit longer of a session as we're going to kick off. Moving forward, you're going to be in 2-hour classes and then have some time to do some hands-on work outside of that. Okay, so the first session's here for Spark Your Career, and that's what we're going to get started with. And we have our roadmap here. So Ignite is going to move you through these key 4 objectives. And we're going to talk about being the real estate expert, which everybody wants to work with somebody in real estate that is an expert. So there's a lot of things that we have to learn here because we're wearing so many different hats. So that is one of the 4 key objectives that we're going to talk about during Ignite. We're also going to talk about lead generation. So we're going to talk about that constantly. Every single session, you're going to hear the instructors say lead generation. I'm hoping that by the end of Ignite, you hear those words and it like lights a fire inside of you, because lead generation equals productivity, equals paychecks and closing tables. So lead generation is an awesome thing. And we're going to talk a lot about different ways to do lead generation. Every piece and aspect of your business really can be part of lead generation if you're on purpose about what you're doing all of the time. So that's going to be a key objective that we talk about a lot. And then super important, we're going to generate leads, but we don't want them to just die on the vine and dry up. We need to master lead follow-up. What are we doing once we meet these people and we get them into our database, and we've done all that work to do that? But now what? Now how do we show them value? How do we make sure that we're the people that they think of when someone says real estate? If they say real estate and they're in my sphere of influence and they don't think Susan Kenyon, I'm not doing my job. And that's not their fault. That's definitely my fault. So we're going to talk about lead follow-up because it's super powerful. And that's really where a lot of the meat on the bone is. And then in the last 14 to 20 days, we're going to talk about the transaction, which is super fun, right? Because you do all of this work of being an expert and learning, all of that work lead generating, all of that work following up with them. Boom, we're going to get a transaction. If you do all of those first 3 steps, you will get signed agency agreements. I promise you that will happen. And now you get to practice how to make that transaction go from a contract to a closing table. So that's kind of your roadmap for the next month. There's a lot of stuff in there, and all of these things are also going to be attached to a goal. Right? So we want this to be fun. We want this to be interactive. My goal is to give you as much confidence in yourselves to go out and do this work, because your goal is to get an appointment. Even though the very last module, sections that you're going to be talking about are the transaction, we can't get a transaction if we don't start with an appointment. So I encourage all of you to get old-fashioned with me. Find your sticky notes. Set one appointment. It should be on your screen. You should write one on your mirror in your bathroom. It should be somewhere in your car. Your goal if you want to get to a closing table, is you've got to set appointments, and that's where it all starts. So we're going to be asking you, you're going to be stuck with me again towards the end of Ignite, and I'm going to ask who's got appointments. And maybe I'll even send out a little reminder to the other regions that are teaching, saying, make sure you ask them who got an appointment since the last Ignite. And we'll talk more about that too. Okay, so here's our course overview here. Today, of course, we're at Spark Your Career, getting started here. And, you know, Spark Your Career, we want you to be energized about, congratulations on choosing the best brokerage and the best real estate company to be in business with Keller Williams. They're offering you more value with things like this class than any other brokerage will offer you. So we want you to really jump in and learn the tools that you need to get started. And by doing that, that means getting up every single day and doing something towards getting that first appointment. The next 3 sessions are going to be embrace your job, connect with your market, and define your values. The value that you bring to the table when someone says, if you're wearing your name tag, Ashley, if someone says, hey, you're a real estate agent, what's business like? How are things going? Like, you need an elevator pitch. You need to be able to promote your value very quickly. How do you do that? So you're going to learn that in the 4th session of Ignite with Define Your Value. Because the worst feeling is when someone says that and you're like, yeah, the market's hot. No, we don't say that. You have to have something else that other people are not saying to bring to the table. Okay, did I feel like maybe a slide got missed, but maybe it'll pop up after. Hold on one second. Thank you. So today's agenda is we are going to talk about a new way of thinking. We're going to talk about, and you know, I love that they start with a new way of thinking, because you know what our job is so much of? Mindset. If you tell yourself that you're going to have an awesome day and you're going to help someone today, picking up the phone and calling people is so much easier. If you tell yourself, oh my God, Susan said I have to do lead generation, that means I have to pick up the phone, you're not going to have a good call. So really what we tell ourselves is important. So we're going to talk about a new way of thinking, which equals mindset. We're going to talk about KW culture. So if there are folks on here today that have been with KW a while and you're just kind of jumping in to rejuvenate, then you already have a lot of exposure to the awesome culture that we have. And for those of you that are new, we're going to let you know more about what is happening with KW, just, you know, in your market center, in your region, but also internationally, and the benefits of having joined such a fantastic brokerage. The KW value and market center values. So we're regional here. So I'm going to try to keep the conversation generic to being not state specific, because we do have different state rules and regulations everywhere. So please keep that in mind when I am speaking. I kind of tend to talk from the New Hampshire, Maine perspective, but especially when we get to transaction stuff, you have to follow state guidelines. So we're going to talk about the Keller Williams value in general. And then the resources that Keller Williams brings to the table to help you grow your business and build a fantastic career. And then your career vision, we're going to talk about that. You know, what does that look like? What's your vision? Your vision's going to be different than mine and everybody else's on here, but it's important to spend some time really thinking about what is your vision. Okay. Success system. So we want to build a system for success. We don't want to, you know, hope is not a strategy. I hope I make a lot of money in 2023. I hope I can close some business in 2022. Hoping and praying is not a strategy. It's not how you're going to, you know, end up being a top producer. But having success systems, those are the things that will help you. So we want to make sure that we have a conversation about that too. And then we're going to recap at the end. And so as we're going through, if there's something that we speak about today and it really resonates with you, jot it down so that when we recap and talk about aha moments, those are the things that we're going to ask what really kind of hit the spot for you today. Okay. And this is just like such a fantastic quote from our great leader, Gary Keller. Anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will you? And, you know, it's such a great quote because I trust that by the end of end of Ignite, you won't have to have a question mark if you say that quote to yourself. Anyone can do it. I will do it. That's the goal. Will you do it? Will you do all of the things that we are suggesting that you do? Because one of the most fantastic things about Ignite is that we're not recreating a wheel here. Keller Williams went out to the top producers in the company and said, what do you do every single day to grow your business? How did you become so successful? Let's write a program and a course around that. So why don't we just do what they have done and not have to create something new, not have to create something fancy? If they can do it and become successful, we all can do that and become successful. So that's a great question for you guys to be asking yourself. Not anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will all of, and let me see, we've got 91 people here today. Will the other 90 of you guys be doing it? Will you choose to do it? Okay. So
Susan, real quick on that last slide too, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Gary always talks about the fact that it's not about the chosen few, it's about the few who choose, right? And that gets into the bold law, be, do, achieve. Are you willing to be the person that does the things to achieve the things? And we changed it. It used to be, if you were familiar with bold in the past, it was be, do, have. But to have something that can be taken away to achieve something, right? It's more like emotionally sustainable. So it's about achievement as opposed to having something. So are you you're willing to be the person to do the things to achieve the results? And it's about choosing to do that and making the decision. And you'll hear us talk about this too. Are you interested in real estate or committed? And that's what this is all about.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And you'll hear more about this. These 6 personal perspectives. This is a really great course at Keller Williams too. Really, we're going to break each one of these down, but it starts with to commit to self-mastery. You know, are you somebody that wants to be learning? And you're here today, so I think that you all are, which is fantastic. So we're going to talk in more detail about that. We're going to talk about committing to the 80-20 principle. And we'll break that down into how that looks like, what that looks like for your business. You know, 80% of your results come from 20% of your work. Is that how that one goes? Yeah. You know, 20% of the company produces 80% of the volume. Who wants to be the 20%? I do. I do. What is the difference? What is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? You know, we want these 6 personal perspectives to resonate with you so that you can be one of those people that accomplish a lot. We're going to talk about moving from E to P. And that's entrepreneurial to purposeful. And we're going to talk about being learning based, the foundation of your action plan. I know Tim's really good at this. He's always has a new book that he's reading to make suggestions for people to be reading. But being learning based is really important, especially in this industry, because, you know, we're changing all of the time. Look at how different this industry is today than it was 3 and 4 months ago. So being learning based is important. And that whole mindset piece, that's all about removing limiting beliefs. So we're going to talk a lot about that. That's a really important piece of the 6 personal perspectives. And then the one that is, I'll be very transparent. The one that's the most challenging for me is the be accountable part, right? How are you going to be accountable in your business to do the things that you have to do to be successful? Okay. And this is embracing and committing to these 6 personal perspectives because it will help you achieve success, not just in your business, but in your life, right? Your mindset about your life and your relationships. So these perspectives can be really transposed onto every aspect of your life, not just your business. So we're gonna explore each of these.
Susan, I'll throw out the invite too. We're actually teaching this in our market center tomorrow. If anybody wants to join us, you can go to kellertv.com tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We'll be teaching this.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if we get past 100, I don't think I have a cool kid account. So after 100, you can't get in. I don't feel like on a Friday at 11, people like, oh my God, more time with Timmy. Let's go do this. But anyway, kellertv.com tomorrow at 10:59. We'll see you.
It's only the Friday of Labor Day weekend, but hey, you know.
And nobody likes me, but that's fine. We'll talk about it during therapy.
Right. So the first one, commit to self-mastery. And in order to commit to self-mastery, you really have to know your goals. Like what is our goal for Ignite? It's not rhetorical.
Build a foundation for our business.
Yep. Absolutely.
Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah, you need to be confident. Who wants to work with someone that's not confident? Absolutely.
relationships.
I like that Ashley said that. Confidence and competence are going to marry each other, right? So that's important to remember. Go ahead, April.
Build your relationships on a daily basis.
Yes, absolutely.
Build your database.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. And we're going to set appointments. The way that we're going to do all of those things are by setting the appointment and practicing our confidence and our competence and building our database and connecting with those people on Facebook and reminding people that we're in real estate, asking for the business, asking for the referral, getting people to sign contracts. So yeah, those are awesome goals. You need to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Like I'm transparent about my weaknesses. The accountability part is not my strong point. It's important to know what you're really good at, because it will help you with like trying to decide where can I be most impactful for lead generation with my strengths. What are my weaknesses? Because there's so many resources with Keller Williams that can help us with our weaknesses so that we can build those pieces up inside of ourselves. Okay? And remember, that's in business and in your personal life, right? What are our weaknesses in our business and in our personal lives? Okay. And know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. Okay. High achievers share is they commit to self-mastery. So that's what they have in common is they're committed to making sure they know their goals. Are your goals written down? Have you talked to a coach about them? Have you told somebody else that will hold you accountable to those goals? Because if you have a goal of building your database and you don't tell anybody and you don't have something to read and look at and remind yourself every day that your goal is to build your database, are you going to remember every day when you get up and sit down at your desk that that's your goal? Because we can forget things pretty quickly. Right? So if you're committed to self-mastery, it's a mindset and it's a practice, and that will help launch a big portion of your career. Okay.
Not to pick on restaurants, but historically restaurants go out of business in the first 6 months because they have a lack of a written business plan, right? Because most people coming from a culinary background or artistes, they're like, oh, we'll figure it out. Let's grab me a radish. We'll figure this out. And there's never a written business plan. So it goes sideways very quickly.
Yeah.
So as soon as you, A, write down a plan, and then B, employ help, bring in accountability, bring in a coach. As soon as you tell somebody else what your plan is, they can at least check in with you now at this point. If you think back to anything you've been successful at in your entire life, there was probably accountability and some form of a written plan or understanding between you and somebody else what the known goal was, and having that person, just hold you accountable, right? And they don't have to be the bad guy. The blessing of being a coach for Zoe and myself at 463 is we can be perceived as the bad guy. We're not the bad guy. The goal, the written goal, the action plan, the job description, whatever you have in place with your team or your coach as what your stated goals are, that's the standard. And your coach, your accountability buddy comes back and just refers back to the standard, what you promised yourself you were going to do by December 31st. So it's hyper important to have that written down, and just employee help, have somebody hold you accountable to that. It's wildly important.
And it doesn't have to be, it can be anyone in your life. It could be your children. If your children really love to go to putt-putt golf, and you tell them, okay, I know how much you guys love to go to putt-putt golf. I really want to take you there. I want to take you there as soon as I can. As soon as mom gets an appointment, I'm going to take you to putt-putt golf. So you guys can ask me every day, as many times a day as you want, does mom have an appointment yet? Or does dad have an appointment yet? That's accountability. Because if that's something they really want to do, get them to hound you. Do you have an appointment yet? Did you add one person to your database yet? Whatever that looks like. So accountability can be built into your family life, because that's one of those weird things about being in real estate. We're not held to a corporate standard of having to be 9 to 5 somewhere. So we have to build these practices into our business and into our daily practices so that we are achieving our goals.
Susan, what do we always say? The best part of real estate is we're in charge.
Yeah.
And the worst part of real estate is we're in charge, right?
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
an awesome boss. Are you? Because all you've done is make pancakes and talk to your cat for a week. So maybe we should set a schedule, do something different.
Absolutely. And, that looks different for all of us. But I have to say, like, especially in this last 2 years environment, with staying home so much more, it's really challenging to get up and do the job every day. And for me, I have to get up, and even when we were like really locked down here in my home office, I had to get up, shower, dress, do my hair, do my makeup, because I had to feel inside like I was going to work. And for me, that's a trigger. When I'm in my sweatpants, it's a trigger that I'm not working. And I'm just kind of wired that way. So yeah, I'm fully dressed. I'm not wearing sweatpants under here. It's no pajama bottoms on. That's just what happens for me. So figure out what it is for you and do that, even if it's hard. Even if it's hard. Okay, here's our 80-20. Commit to the 80-20 principle, where 20% of your actions leads to 80% of your results. Okay, so what are your 20% actions? What are you going to do? The idea that 20% of your actions can lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles that you can apply to your life, because all the decisions are here. So what is it? What is that 20%? If it's lead gen and I'm waiting until 3 o'clock in the afternoon to start my lead gen, then my results, the 80% of my results are not going to be that great. So what do I want the results to look like? I have to backtrack that to what's my 20% going to look like? Okay. What would you guess is the most dollar productive activity of a real estate agent?
Pick up the phone.
Yep.
Who said
For
pick up the
you,
phone? They're
for
my new
you.
best friend. Who's that? Who was that? Who said that? Who said pick up the phone? Nobody. Now you're not going to admit to it. Who did?
I said it. Terry,
I love that, Terry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was unmuted.
Yep.
No,
Pick up the
she's
phone.
just mumbling into the darkness. She's like, whatever. Yeah, hyper important. And to Susan's point, this Pareto's principle is counterintuitive. I think people look at this and then like, this is nonsensical that 20% of my actions are going to garner 80% of my results. It's a real thing. She talked about 20% of the agents are going to do 80% of the business. You can keep chunking that down. So that the beauty of that, the limiting belief is when you're getting started, if you're in your freshman year of real estate and you're looking around and you're thinking, just in New England alone, Keller Williams, New England, there's about 6,000 agents, right? So think about your local state, whatever the case may be. We know in our initial state of New Hampshire for our market center, there's about 6,000 agents. Now we have 740 agents. They're not all licensed in New Hampshire. Most of them are. We're about 10% of the state of New Hampshire. Now, that being said, when you think about it, the blessing is 80% of the agents are getting ready for the Price is Right now, kids. Like, we have to be okay with that. They're not all hustling. They're not all in this class. They're not all building plans. They're not all going to be great agents. No judgment, a little judgy, no judgment. They're not all going to be stealing your cheese, right? So just know that 20% of you are going to do 80% of the business in this country. And that's what you need to remember. So the fact that you're here right now and plugged in right now, you're starting to differentiate yourself from everyone else. So that's what you need to focus on with this. And to Susan's point, it is lead generation. That is our one thing. That is your big rock. And I appreciate there's people, well, I'm still working a different job and I can't get started till 3. Susan's point is your energy is not on will call. So when you still have air in your lungs, when you haven't been punched in the face by the universe yet, is the best time to make your phone calls and get in touch with other people, because they haven't been kicked in the face yet either. We know that the genius zone for people to have conversations, to set appointments, is between, depending on your time zone, and we're all on the East Coast, I trust, it's 8 to 10 a.m. And then conversely, the other side of the day is 4 to 6. Because if you're grabbing your friend who's leaving Liberty Mutual and you call them at 4:05, they're going to pretend it's their mom. They grab a schematic, they walk out to their car, they leave early. They're just happy to get the hell out of work, right? But if you catch people between 8 and 10 and 4 and 6, they're either not at work and angry yet, or they're leaving work and happy again. And those are the best times to make our connections. But we're setting appointments in the morning to go on them in the afternoon. That's wildly important, because if you don't eat your vegetables first thing in the morning, you're probably not going to get to them. And then you're like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And then you're like, oh, my license is due and I haven't made any money in 2 years. Maybe I'm going to go to Kohl's and fold t-shirts. Also an option, not recommended, right?
No, you're here. You made the commitment. My gosh, you passed that stupid exam to get your license. You had to go through all of those hours of class to get your license. Let's make it count for something, but we'll make it count for something with lead generation. When you commit to this, you'll make more money. You'll have more time with your family. You'll be more organized. You'll be helping other people make great decisions in their lives. Isn't that awesome? Like, that's such a fantastic opportunity. So really, lead generation, and I warned you guys at the beginning that we were going to talk about lead generation a lot. So I'm already holding true to that. Okay. All right. We are going to move from E to P, right? We're going to go from the entrepreneurial approach to the purposeful approach. So, in the entrepreneurial approach, we're going to do what comes naturally. And we're going to hit a ceiling, a natural ceiling of achievement, because really it's human nature to do the things that come naturally to us first. Like, oh, I'm going to lead generate. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to talk to everybody on Facebook. And then when they need a house, then when they want to buy a house, they're going to call me. No, not really. Not unless you're being purposeful on Facebook on trying to generate leads and have two-way conversations with people that are in your Facebook world about buying, selling, and investing in real estate. So there's really big difference there, right? It's like really natural for me to want to kill 30 minutes on Facebook scrolling and liking. But it's different if I'm going to be purposeful and I'm going to start messaging people and saying something about get them talking about real estate, asking for appointments, checking in on them and seeing how they're doing. Okay. You're going to move from, disappointment and resignation and great greener pastures, and the cycle will continue because, you're going to go up and zigzag here, and you're just going to keep hitting that ceiling until you become purposeful. Okay. And we all hit that ceiling unless we decide to be purposeful, because we all want to do the things that are easy and come natural to us. It's when we actually break through that barrier and do things that are purposeful that we start setting more appointments, signing more agency agreements, getting more people under contract, sitting at more closing tables. That's when that happens. So in order to be purposeful, we have to focus. That has to be a focus of ours. Okay. We have to have models. and systems in place. Like, I'm going to sit down and make my lead generation calls. Am I logging them into Command? Am I making sure I have all of their full contact information? Am I setting them up on a smart plan so that they're getting a birthday card from me every time it's their birthday, that I know how many people are in their household? I know the next time they're going on vacation. I know that maybe they're going to be upsizing or downsizing or resizing or wanting a second home. Am I putting all of that information in Command so that as I'm speaking to them and I'm moving them through the process, I know when they're going to be ready to transact? Do I have a system in place for that? Have I set up my smart plans so that when I click the button, I'm now going to be reminded on how to stay in touch with them? Do I have a system for when I'm sitting down at a kitchen table taking a listing in place so that I am efficient? I am professional. The more professional and efficient I am, I'm proving my worth and my value and my knowledge to my seller. They're getting more and more confidence that I'm going to get the job done. Do I have a system in place for that? What happens when I come back with the folder? Is there a system in place for all of the work that has to get done after that? Is it duplicatable, that system, so that when I want to start, maybe hiring an assistant, I can say, here, I have this system in place. So when I come back from a listing appointment, I'm going to hand you this folder and everything is spelled out with what you have to do with that next. That's being purposeful. And then you're going to break through that line of the natural ceiling of achievement. You're going to break through. You're going to get more appointments. You're going to get more listings. You're going to get more closings. So it's really important to decide ahead of time if you want to stay in an entrepreneurial approach and do what's easy and what comes natural, or do you want to bust through that line and become purposeful on building your business? And hey, you know
Susan,
what?
I got to be honest. I'm stuck back on the birthday card. I've never gotten one. Zoe, have you gotten a birthday card? You talked about sending out birthday cards. I don't feel like I've gotten a birthday card.
I probably don't have you in my command.
Oh, good night, everybody. Try the veal. Tip your waiters and waitresses. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Wow. I was gonna say too, that black line that is the achievement ceiling. Notice that it's just long and ongoing and dead straight, and it seems like a pain in the ass. We call that embracing the suck, right? Because you're gonna get started. If you're in your freshman year, you've been doing the things, making the calls, all the things that your local coaches have taught you. You're going to learn in Ignite. You've heard Gary say, you read in one of the books, you've heard in a conversation, a mastermind, a training. You're doing all those things. The compounding effect is going to take place, and it's going to be gradually then suddenly. So picture at the far right of the slide, picture like the hockey stick effect. And you got to be okay with that, because it's going to feel like brain damage, and that's embracing the suck. Just doing it. And then eventually things are going to start to click. So please understand, everything great that you're going to do in this career lies in the mundane. Like none of what we do before noon is ever going to be on HGTV. They don't show you that, right? Like the civilians think that you guys, and this is what troubles our industry, is the civilians think, because all they see in 22 minutes minus commercials on HGTV on Saturday night at 8 o'clock is that you guys swing doors open, say, we just had a price improvement, it's only $7.2 million. And then you get this big fat check and you fly off into the universe on a unicorn. They don't understand all the work you're doing to get to the kitchen table, to get to the closing table. So please understand all that work that you're doing. Everyone that is in this class, the people seated in this room with me, we've all done that grind. And it feels like brain damage. That is embracing the suck. You're going to go through it. And to Susan's earlier point, you're going to continue to have achievement ceilings that you will break through, because you're going to continue to insert a person, a tool, a system, or a relationship to take you to those next levels. This big long line of embracing the suck in your freshman and sophomore year, you'll never experience that length of heartache again. But you're going to keep going through achievement ceilings as you go. When you guys take business planning clinic this fall, you're going to start to see there are 7 levels. You can grow into 7 levels of a team, and you're going to continue to morph your business, and you're going to scale with physical talent, systems, or tools. And as you do that, there's always going to be an achievement ceiling to break through. The initial one is getting over yourself. The most expensive thing in real estate is our ego. We have to park our ego and understand people of Lewis and Clark this and just follow the systems and models. And if you do that, you're going to get to where you want to go. But do understand it's going to take some time, and trust us.
And that's a fantastic point, Tim, that, developing these systems and models, remember, we're not recreating any wheels here. They're out there in the Red Book. There are systems and models that you can follow that are already proven winners. So let's do what the people that are successful have already done. Let's just copy them. One of the, and we're going to talk about it maybe more when we get to KW culture, we share. Other brokerages don't share. There's so many top producers that have given me material from their business. They've helped me if I've had a question, if I've had a challenge. We're a really great company in that we share things with each other. We share our models and systems. So let's do what they're doing. And then we just keep building on them to break through the next ceiling that we happen to be under. And build a fantastic big life. On the previous slide, we talked about how doing these things will build more time in your life. When you have the models and systems in place, it gives you time back into your schedule because you're not rethinking the same steps over and over again. It's like you're dummy proofing them so that you can move forward and get on to something else. If anyone has any questions or thoughts on this, please just jump right in or raise a digital hand. I'd love to hear your thoughts when you have them.
I'm just going to throw this out for general knowledge, Kenyon. If we disappear, it was nothing you said. We're just dealing with the robust dial up here at the hotel in Somerville. So
no problem.
To be determined. We might be in and out. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely, when the bar opens, we're definitely gonna leave for 10 minutes, but we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Okay. And I know that you guys are, Tim, can you repeat the name of the class coming this fall? Thank you. It's the the business planning clinic, and there's the 6 personal perspectives tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I apologize. Tomorrow, if you want to jump in with us at 463, it's going to be limited room, but I trust. I don't think we're going to hit that. I don't think we're going to hit the 100. If you want to jump in tomorrow, kellertv.com. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'll be teaching at our market center the 6 personal perspectives. So we'll go a little bit deeper on all this stuff. It's still 60 minutes, but we'll spend a little bit more time. And then a business planning clinic. Most of your market centers are going to offer business planning clinic. And I know that Zoe and I have offered to open up our September and October class to the region. So we'll be teaching in September on the 29th. There'll be an opportunity to jump in physically in Portsmouth if you want. And we're also going to hybrid it out to you guys as well. And then also in October, we're going to teach again, October 27th out of our Meredith Business Center north of the lake, which might not be super appropriate for all of you, but again, we're also going to hybrid that out. So I want to make sure you guys understand your business planning clinic class, no matter how you get your face to that class. And if you see regionally that we have maybe Gene Rivers, who's a national superstar teaching it, if you get a chance to get it, I'm not going to make this an option. When you do business planning clinic in the 4th quarter, the reason we start in September is because you get to have your plan in place for October 1st. Because what do we know, guys? October 1st is January 1st. Whatever you're doing on October 1st is going to be results on January 1st. So we endeavor to teach it in September to make sure our agents at 463 have an opportunity to spend the 4th quarter putting their plan in action for 1st quarter results. It's called the Business Planning Clinic, MREA Business Planning Clinic. We teach the models that are in the Red Book. And it's all day. So if you're thinking, wow, that's a long time. If you can't sacrifice, said with love, 8 hours to plan the next 364 days, we probably need to have a different conversation.
You're probably entrepreneurial.
Yeah. And you can be that for a little bit. It's going to be cool for a while, but then it starts with P, ends with poverty. What is that word? Poverty. Poverty kicks in. That sucks. That's not fun. That's less than fun. Yes. Last time I checked, raise your hand if everyone came here to make money. I know we all love people and we love houses and we want to put people in houses, and that's cool. Ultimately, most of us came here to be profitable. And that's our job, is to help you get there to your heart's desire. So please, without fail, plug into the Business Planning Clinic. And it is not a prerequisite that you read the red book. And I will say this when I teach it. And if Gary were in the room, I would say this. The red book is not a dynamic read. It's not a romance novel. You're not like, oh my God, I got to finish this chapter before I go to bed. It's a blueprint for the business. It's Ionosaurus Rex with tiny arms, right? But it's everything we need to understand the systems and models to be successful in this industry. So please lean into Business Planning Clinic when it comes around. You'll see it on the regional calendar.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to go now into the number 4, make being learning based the foundation of your plan. You know, it is important, and I know that you're learning based because you chose to be here today. So that's awesome. But you know, you can either be ignorance based, you know, meaning you know what you know and you'll ignore everything else. And we all know people like that in our lives. You know, they just want to know for knowing's sake. Or you can be learning based where you want to know for doing's sake. I want to learn so that I can do and put something into practice. It's, you know, it's called implementing. Like the great thing about Keller Williams is that there's so many training classes that you can go to learn and grow and build your business. And one of the worst things is that there's so many training things that you can go to learn and grow and build your business, because it's easy to fall into the trap of going to too many trainings. You have to go to training and then you have to implement. You have to do. So you have to know for doing's sake to be a learning based agent. And what you get from that is productivity outside, enlightenment on the inside, right? On the outside, we're doing this because we want productivity. We want appointments to be set. We want contracts to be signed. We want to be sitting our butts at closing tables. We want to be bringing an income home to our families so that we can help provide them with a great life. Okay? And it means higher self-actualization, being learning based. And it's really the foundation of your action plan. Like when you set that action plan and you do your business plan, it should be flavored everywhere with being a learning based agent. Okay. I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. And that's an Albert Einstein quote. And I love this quote because coming from curiosity, so when have our lead generation hat on and we're picking up the phone and calling people, come from curiosity. You know, when someone tells you something about their life, great. Can you tell me more about that? How does that make you feel? What would your life look like if this happened? You know, when you're trying to find out their motivation for maybe selling. Oh, you want to go to Florida? Really? What's in Florida? Well, how would your life look like if you were in Florida before Christmas? How would that make you feel? It's coming from curiosity. And by the way, this is how we learn more about our sphere of influence, about our customers, about our clients, by always coming from curiosity. And you might not, that might be what's opening the door to having a conversation about real estate when you call, and we'll talk about the Ford script, talking and asking people in your life about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams. You're really coming from curiosity. We're not trying to trick anybody here when we're calling. We care. We want to know what's happening. We want to know how we can help. So coming from curiosity really is just a fantastic lead generation tool. And when
Susan, I'm going to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Just to address something in the chat, somebody was asking about the red book. Please, for the rest of the month too, because we're all going to fall on that nerve sword and forget. We use a lot of acronyms. Welcome to KW. And there's a lot of things that we'll say that you're like, I just landed. What the hell do you mean? So the red book is the millionaire real estate agent. So when we say the red book, that's what we're talking about. So I apologize for the confusion around that. Above and beyond that, to your point, Susan, staying curious and asking questions. If you guys look at scripts, and if your initial thought right now is I don't like scripts, they don't sound like me, we know that you've never said the words. We'll get to that later. We'll browbeat that to death before the end of the month. Scripts are a series of questions. They navigate a conversation for us. They keep us curious. Because if we're constantly asking questions, we make the end user feel heard and cared for, and we find out more about them. And we help them understand the circumstances in their head that they feel are holding them back from their next logical step, which may be a transaction, aren't really true. So yeah, staying curious and asking questions is the basis of our success, for sure.
Absolutely. And, now we're going to move into the number 5, which is remove your limiting beliefs. Okay. Super powerful, people. Super, super, super powerful. Nobody speaks to us more than our own selves. What we tell ourselves, the words we use they matter. The words we use with other people matter, and the words that we use with ourselves matter. So a limiting belief it's basically your attitude. I don't have enough time for training. I don't nobody. I'm new. I don't know anybody in this market. I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours a day to lead generation. And so I go to a gym that is it's kind of like a CrossFit. It's a kettlebell gym. It's kind of CrossFitty like that. And we work in teams a lot of the times. And there's this young couple that I tend to be paired with a lot. And we were doing something, and she said, "Yeah, I don't think I can do that weight." And without even skipping a beat, her partner said, "Yep, you're right. With that attitude, you can't." And we were all like, "Whoa, it's 6 a.m." But he's right. Right? With that attitude, she can't.
Well, that's Susan, that's Henry Ford, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah.
You decide.
Yep.
You decide. But limiting beliefs, they're thoughts and their mindset that limit you. Like the ones in this slide, I don't have time for training. So do any of you have a limiting belief that you want to share with everybody?
There's 95 people in the room. There's at least 97 limiting beliefs. So somebody raise your hand, please.
I felt like when I was contacting like my people from high school and other people that I know, I was like, oh, they're going to be so annoyed. They're going to be like, we haven't talked to you in 50 years. Why are you contacting me? And literally no one felt like that. No one said anything like that. So it was just you feel kind of silly, like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that, because it's not real.
Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing, Kayla. And absolutely, right? Were you like, oh, wow, I just spent all that time getting stressed out about having to do that, and they wanted my call.
Exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a good one, Kayla. Anybody else?
I have one.
Hi.
Hi. You have to be an expert in order to do transactions.
That's a good one. That's a good
If that
one.
were true, Brandon, we wouldn't have any real estate agents.
Yeah.
We'd be screwed. Yeah, there's no experts. They do
Yep.
not exist.
Yep. I just sold a house with someone, and I was the listing agent when he bought it, and then he just sold it. And I asked him, why he picked when he was the buyer, why had he picked that person? And he said, I picked her because she was new, and I thought she could use my business more than anybody else could. I said, wow, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, to Kayla's earlier point too, we at our market center, we call it the 7-year call, right? Everybody's got that number in their phone that they haven't talked to in forever, yet you know them. And the limiting belief is, well, I can't call Kayla. I haven't talked to her since like the Truman administration. Well, yeah, but Kayla hasn't called me either, right? So whoever calls first right now, it's like a bad game of emotional battleship. Like whoever calls first wins. And we've all had this happen. I'm driving past the school that Kayla and I went to, and I think I should give her a call. Then I don't. Then 3 days later, Kayla calls me. And you look down at the phone, you're like, son of a nut monkey, I was going to call her 3 days. But you can't say that now. Like, oh, I meant to call you a few days ago. Well, intention's great, and you didn't, right? So Gary has the math on this. It never changes. You might want to write this down. 0.0 humans are offended when you call and say, I miss you. I was thinking of you. I care about you. How are you? Like, that's the math. So we've got to get out of our own head. I think our biggest limiting belief, and I know this holds true for a lot of people, especially if you're in your freshman year, welcome, we love you. You don't want to pick up the 7,000-pound phone and bother anybody because you don't want to be salesy, or you perceive a lack of value will be delivered. and just calling to check in on them. What's eventually going to come up? Because if you're just getting started, or if you're a veteran agent, you haven't talked to somebody in a long time, they forgot you're in real estate. I've got enough gray hair now, they see me, they're like, oh, I thought you died. So I have to remind them I'm still alive and I'm in real estate, right? Above and beyond all that, if you haven't yet had a conversation with them where work comes up, they still think you're at Liberty Mutual. They still think you work here, there, or everywhere. And when work does come up, you have to be like, I'm glad you asked. I got my license. I'm with Keller Williams. Who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that I should serve? It doesn't start with real estate, but it's going to get there because you're going to ask Stacy about Liberty Mutual. Then she's going to ask you about where she thinks you currently work the last time you talked to her 7 years ago. And for a lot of us, that's probably changed anyway. And you just let them know you're in real estate and ask them who they know that you should know. They're going to work with you because they know and love and trust you from other venues in your life. You just have to install real estate into that conversation now. Because if you don't, they're going to work with somebody else. They're going to get underserved. We know that. Like, we have the best and the brightest at this company. So you should be serving your people. If somebody else, if Susan Kenyon lists my sister's house, I can't get mad at Susan or my sister.
No.
I decided to be 2 buckets of stupid with a side of fries, right? And let my sister get scooped by one of my great agents. Like, we can't get mad at people if they don't know we're in real estate because we didn't tell them. If you want to be a secret agent, awesome. Russia needs more spies. But if you want to sell real estate, tell your loved ones so they can utilize you. Okay? Is Russia listening now? I feel like they're listening. Yeah. Good morning, Vladimir. You look great.
I have a, oh, sorry.
I do want to say, I do appreciate that you shared that limiting belief because I think it's probably one of the most common ones for a lot of people on this call today. So if we also look back at changing our mindset around, I don't have experience, to I'm eager to learn, I'm eager to help, and build your confidence up that way, and choose to continue learning. Find out ways to partner or maybe ask to shadow a producing agent on appointment so that you can learn. And then be eager and be confident and always come from a place of wanting to help. And the right thing will happen for you on that limiting belief. You can do it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I had a limiting belief even before I got licensed. I had always been curious about real estate over the years, and I had always had 1, maybe 2 jobs. And I didn't have enough confidence in myself that I would even pass the course, and I was afraid to even try. And I've changed my mode of thinking when it comes to fear or being nervous about doing something new. And I've changed fear, and I use it as a motivation to just do it. So I took the course, I passed the course. I said, and I patted myself on the shoulder because I said, you know what? I didn't think I could do this. And I have a license that nobody can take away from me.
Yeah.
And now I've just with taking the class and with the small experience that I've had actively as an agent, I'm learned so much just in the past few weeks. And take that fear and switch that fear to the word motivation to just do it, because you're guaranteed to not succeed unless you actually try that thing you're afraid of. Because
Right.
the worst thing that's going to happen is someone's not going to be interested maybe right now, but you might make that lasting impression and say, they were really nice and they were informative. And if, like you said, you keep following up and you keep in touch, you might get that transaction at the end. But don't let fear block you, because that should be pushing you forward. And that's my experience. And so that's
awesome. Really. Absolutely. And every no gets you closer to a yes. So you just have to keep moving forward, looking for the yes. Yeah. And I love that Wayne Gretzky quote.
Yeah,
You miss
you miss
100%
100%
of the shots
you don't take.
Yep.
I'm also going to make sure that everybody understands, if you go down into the bottom panel in reactions, you can put your digital hand up. Happy to have people just unmute and start yelling. No problem with that either. But if you want to just go to reactions and put your digital hand up too, that'd be great. So we can make sure. There's Jason. Perfect. What do you got, bud?
So I just want to thank you, Tim, for your freshman hazing this morning. First of all, no,
so with love, bud. So with love. So with love. So with love.
I love you already. So I mentioned I'm a freshman, admitted, and I'm closing my first listing on what we moved it to September 16th, and the sellers live in New Hampshire, and I got this referral from out of state, and it's pretty intricate, and the seller reached out and said, wow, can I write you like a letter, just to tell about a review letter? Sure. But then I've been like wrestling with this thing. I'm like, wow, I know that I'm going to be exceptional in our business. Can I actually
I
handle
love this kid already. I'm not muted. I know that. I'm just going to say to Zoe, I love this kid already. Keep going, Jason. Yeah.
Can I actually handle it? Like, she's going to write a review about the things that I've been doing that I just kind of brought with me as like my skill set. She's going to write a review. People are going to read it and they're going to say, I want that guy. But can I handle doing what I'm doing for them 10 times over? Or like, can I handle 25 of these?
Yep, absolutely.
As a freshman,
we're gonna get.
It's not that I don't believe I can, but it's like, wow, can I really handle? I know I'll do a great job at it, but can I handle 20 of these? And that's been a different kind of limiting belief that I'm like, yeah, you can, but I keep like having to remind myself that yes, I can, and yes, I will. But what I just keep bumping into it. I just wanted to talk about it as only because Timothy, you hazed first, so I'm going to haze myself back.
I love that. Yes, awesome. Yeah, when you do talk to Nathan and the regional team, can we leave hazing out of the conversation? Because I've got a family to support. But anyway, yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, Jason, what you want to remember, and I need everybody to hear this loud and clear. One of the things that you're going to struggle with as you start to grow your business is my people only want to work with me, and that's not true. They want to work with your standard. And what you'll do and surprise yourself as you guys grow your businesses, you're going to find people that are better than you. Write this down. Tell it to your ego later after lunch. You're going to find people better than you at certain things. We all have our genius zone, right? So when you start to find people that are willing to, is it pronounced Hosey? I'm just making sure. When you find people that are willing to uphold Jason Hosey's standard and Hosey Productions, you let them into your environment, and that is physical leverage. That is part of the natural achievement ceiling of inserting the tool system. When we say relationship, I mean physical talent. You start to build your team out with people you know and love and trust, who when you leave, leadership exists when we leave the room. And if we were at my office, because I'm a grown child, I have little Funko Pops. And one of them that I have is Colonel Sanders. He's dead. The chicken tastes the same because he found people that will work with the 11 herbs and spices for the rest of forever. So when your recipe, when you build your playbooks and you find people that will adopt your standard and uphold it while you're gone on vacation for good, for a weekend, that's when you've won. So we will get in our own head and say, well, no. Well, Timmy and his family only want to work with me, Jason Hosey. No, they want to work with your standard. And as you start to grow that and find people that will uphold that standard for you, that's where the growth kicks in. So I'm going to feed into everybody. We're always looking for I'm looking for listings, buyers, talent for my team, right? And the talent from my team, well, are you going to your team yet? No, but I'm looking for people. I want to build a bench so when I'm ready, I can start to move these people in. Nathan Dickey has done that at 463. He was always looking at his agents, and that's part of what the ALC is. The Associate Leadership Council for our market centers is the ability for Nate and other operating principals to look at their ALC and be like, that might be my next team leader. That could be my next productivity coach. That could be my next MCA. And we need to do that as business owners for the talent that we start to surround ourselves with in the industry, so we can bring them into our team as we decide to grow, should we decide to grow. So I appreciate that, Jason. You will shock yourself. There's going to be people in your life that are better at things than you are, even though you're phenomenal, better than you at certain things that will make your standard actually escalate. And that's all about parking our ego when the time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of accountability is about parking your ego. For sure. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, you guys.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I know one of the guys just said like the failure that we are mostly afraid of, that we're not good enough. We don't have enough expertise. Let's say you're talking to somebody and you know that they know a real estate agent who has been in business for 30 years and they know you. How would you represent yourself in a way that you could really do the same job? How can you convince them that like give me the chance, I can produce the same thing? even though like the other agent probably already has a buyer ready for their house and they know a lot of people and they have like years and years of expertise. What
Well,
can you?
you know, Grace, you might already have an advantage over that agent because you have time. You have so much time to devote to that person and helping them. And really, you know, you're using the internet to put your properties online, and the buyers are looking on the internet for the first time. I mean, people have buyers, but you'll have buyers too, just ornately from putting that property onto the MLS, where that's where people see the showing for the first time. And you have a lot of time to devote to hand-holding this person, to giving them excellent level of customer service, to be over communicating with them, to be making sure that they understand the process from the beginning to the end, and that you're confident that you're going to get their house sold for the most amount of money on the best terms that agree with that seller. And you should take a chance on me because I'm going to do a great job for you.
Grace, the other side of that too is to Susan's point initially, that you are just getting started and you have, they're going to get all your love and attention as you're getting started. Above and beyond that though, and I want you guys to remember this because I think it's important. Everybody's worried about their elevator speech. And when somebody says, why should I work with you? You want your 15 seconds of greatness to make sure that you can differentiate yourself, because just saying, there's a lot of things you can say as a KW agent, but all the KW agents on this call, all the KW agents in our country have all the resources you have. So what truly sets you apart? And I think the best thing you do to change their thinking when they say that to you, well, so let's just assume, Grace, that you're talking to your friend Ted. Ted also knows Stacy. Stacy's been in the business for 10 years, right? And when he says, well, and let's just extract the time frame, the fact that she's a 10-year veteran, just when somebody says to any of us, why should I work with you? My immediate reaction would be like, I'll pick on Bruce because he's here. You look great, Bruce, by the way. I would say, well, Bruce, that's a great question. I'm not quite sure we should. Why don't we spend some time getting to know each other to make sure that we're a fit? And because I think the immediate reaction is they think that we're all used car salesmen and salespeople, and we want to rush and we have to have their opportunity. But for me to be able to say, I'm not quite sure we should, but let's find out if we are a match and start to ask questions and uncover their motivation and work through their circumstances. Above and beyond that, going back to the time-based thing, Grace, in the grand scheme of things, just having that conversation of, you know what, that's a great question. And that's one of the reasons I chose Keller Williams. Ted, I appreciate that you're viewing me, and I'm my freshman year of real estate. I'm a growing agent, and Stacy's been rocking and rolling over at ABC Realty for 10 years. I've got the power of whatever your market center count is. I joined Keller Williams because of the training, because of the coaching, because of the support that I have, and I'm powered by them. And as I'm getting started, I also know that I can dip into my market center and speak to my productivity coach or my team leader, and I can bring a wily veteran with me. So as I'm getting started, I can grab that Tom Brady, bad example. I'm sorry, his face looks terrible, by the way. Too much work being done. Anyway, I had to say it. I can grab Tom Brady and bring him. No, we're deeply not in love anymore. So I can bring that veteran agent with me. Now you get the power of two, Ted, right? And we can have more conversations about that, Grace. I just think that you got to lean back into the venue that Ted knew you from before, the reason that he knows and loves and trusts you, and now he's just going to have to just move that knowledge and love and trust into this new venue of real estate. And yeah, like, you know what, honestly, at the very least, Ted, if you're making a big decision, and arguably the purchase of their first home, second home, lake home, whatever the case may be, it's one of the largest financial transactions of their life. I trust if you were going in for major surgery, you'd probably talk to more than one doctor. You'd get more than one opinion. So I'd appreciate the opportunity and say this because no other agent is saying this. Stacy at ABC Realty Group with 10 years in her pocket is not saying this because she feels she deserves the listing. I'd be honored to have the opportunity to interview for the right to sell your home, Ted. And if I can bring a veteran with me and you can have the two of us working together, because they're going to feel more cared for by you, Grace, that you're bringing somebody else with them. So they're getting the best service. We have to, a lot of times we want to go in and we want to get the whole grape, and we should be happy with half the watermelon.
But you should say it, right? Like, even if, like, you know that they're thinking about selling and you know that they know that expert agent and they trust them. But then like you should say something, right? Not just like be quiet and wait until they open the subject with you, right? Because they won't. Even if they know you, and even if you're their friend, you have to approach them and say, like, before you talk to that expert, why don't you give me a chance? But what if you became too pushy saying that? Like,
Well, two things, three things. My executive producer is telling me to stop talking, which happens every day. So you guys can thank Zoe. She's telling me to shut up off screen or on screen. Are you on screen? And we're going to do value proposition tomorrow. We also want to get to, did I say this right? Flordalis? Is it Flordalis? I'm probably saying it wrong. She's laughing. She's like, no, it's a terrible job. We're going to get to you in a second. I'm going to tell you, Grace, you guys are going to cover your value proposition tomorrow. So you can dig into that question a little bit more tomorrow. And I'll leave you with this. You're fighting for your greatness the same way you're going to fight for theirs. Right? If you are fighting for the opportunity to serve them, you're fighting for your family. And now when you set me free to represent you and your family in your next transaction, I'm going to fight just as hard for you. That's the way I would put it. You have to enter these conversations with a little F and a little U on your shoulders. We won't use the language, but I want you to be bold enough to go into these conversations knowing you're the greatest, because you're powered by the greatest. That's why you're at Keller Williams. Okay. You're muted, Susan. Well, I've been talking for 30 minutes. I'm so sorry,
Oh,
everybody
okay.
else.
No, that was great. And Flora Dallas, are we saying your name correctly?
Hello, everyone. It's Flor Dalis.
Flor Dalise.
Oh.
Thank you for waiting. Please share.
No problem. I'm in between topics from slide 2 to this one. So I'm having a little bit of the opposite issue. I have everyone coming to me because I'm very persistent and outspoken. So I like to help. And a lot of people that have been reaching out to me have already been working with agents. And, you know, I don't like or want to feel like I'm stepping on other people's feet. And at the same time, I ask, okay, do you have a contract with that agent? How long you've been working with them? And as soon as I start getting information out of them, it's like they get scared and they stop because they see me question, you know, about the other agent, because I feel like I'm out of place speaking about that. But then they want to send me the pre-approval and they want to, you know, basically set an appointment with me. But right now, my branch office is in the middle of moving. So I really have nowhere to meet with them unless I come to the client. So what do I do about
it? If they are working with another agent and they have a signed agreement with them, then you really need to honor that and say, you know what, I'm overstepping here. It's not appropriate for me to be having this conversation with you if you have a signed agreement with another agent. If that contract expires and you're still not under contract, I would love to jump in and help you out. But from an ethics perspective, we shouldn't be communicating about real estate with people that have signed an agreement with another agent.
No, they haven't signed. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, if they haven't signed, then set up an appointment and meet with them and do a buyer presentation with them and get them to sign. Because if I'm up against that scenario and they haven't signed, I'm going for it all the time.
Okay.
Whoever gets that agreement signed, without bashing, we never bash another agent. We always bring it back to you and back to the customer and helping the customer. Put the other agent aside if they have not signed anything else. Don't say anything negative about them. Just focus on what you bring to the table and how you can serve and help that person. Okay. Awesome. All right, we're going to move to be accountable, and I know we'll stop for a break soon, but I just want to get through a couple of more slides here before we do that. Being accountable is number 6, and I did share that this one is kind of the toughest one for me. You know, life happens and reality shows up. So being accountable means that you want to seek reality. Being ignorant means that you don't want to seek reality, because, you know, when you're ignorant, you just feel like you know everything already and you're not looking for clarity around that. So when we want to be accountable, we need to be aware and we need to be seeking reality all of the time. We need to acknowledge reality too. Like we need to get some clarity on what's really happening here. We can't be wearing rose-colored glasses and assuming everything is going well and everything is okay when it's really not. So we have to acknowledge reality. And accountability is really first and foremost, it's an attitude and an approach to your entire life, not just to your business. We don't want to be someone that fights reality. We want to acknowledge it. We don't want to be someone that blames. We want to own it. And this part's really important because when we keep our energy and our focus and we're owning it, people will see and resonate with that. Okay, we don't want to blame a problem. And there's a great book on leadership called Extreme Ownership, and it talks about owning what you have, being in control of that. And if something goes wrong, that you're owning it. If something goes wrong with somebody else, that you're finding a way to build them up and find a resolution around that project or around that problem. We want to find solutions. One of the things that when I'm working with co-brokes and if I'm representing a buyer and I'm wanting my buyer to win a contract, I let them know that I'm a solutions oriented agent. I don't find personal excuses. I'm a solutions oriented person. I'm looking for a win-win in every scenario. What are the possibilities? What can I do? How can I help? I'm always looking for solutions, and being accountable means that you're going to get on with it. You have an action plan. You're not. This is where we're not being the person that has a hope and pray strategy or a wait and hope strategy. It's important as real estate agents that when we have a situation, we have an opportunity, somebody emails you, can you set me up on a listing cart? Can you do this? Can you do that? Jump on it, get on with it, move quickly. Leverage somebody else to get that piece done. When you're nurturing people, you're putting them in your database, you're encouraging them to reach out to you when they need something. If they need something that's not about buying or selling, but they're reaching out to you for something, respond quickly. You're building confidence in yourself with them by reacting to things quickly, by putting an action plan together, by getting something started, by showing your customers and your sphere of influence and your have-mets that you're an action-oriented person, because buying and selling and investing in real estate, it's an action. And we want to move quickly without rushing so that we're doing the best job for our people. But life happens, reality shows up. So let's be the people on the right side of the screen when we're seeking reality. We're acknowledging reality. We're owning it. We're finding solution. We're getting on with it. Does that make sense? Okay. Happiness is not an individual sport. This is such a great quote by Sean Aker. It's not. He wrote a book called The Happiness. What is that? I know you'll remember it.
Happiness Advantage. She was the
The
keynote
Happiness
last year
Advantage.
in Orlando. Yeah.
And I loved one of his activities was to make a list. I think it was 25. And every day for 25 days, find someone in your life that you're going to reach out to them with happiness, saying something positive about them. And I did that. And it was, I don't know why I don't do that again. It should really be like a daily habit. Reaching out to someone and saying, hey, I saw that post of you last night on Facebook. You looked really great. How's everything going? Or thank you for always taking my call. Or thank you for always being in a position to help me. Something about someone, but reaching out with happiness, showing appreciation. Hey, I really appreciate you. You're always there on the ball, helping me with my kids, helping with rides. You make my life so much better. Happiness is not an individual sport. So this quote comes from his research that reveals that happy humans are more productive, they're more creative, they're better at problem solving, and they're even healthier and less stressed. And wouldn't you agree that these outcomes lead to better business success? People want to work with people they like. Be likable. People want to work with happy people. Be happy. Sometimes that means that you just have to smile before you pick up the phone to call and talk to somebody. Because when you're smiling, your tone and your energy is so much better, especially if you have a difficult call to make. Smile first. Because happiness is not an individual sport. People do business with people that make them feel good. And this doesn't mean that you only tell them what they want to hear, but it's how you say it. Like you might have a property sitting on the market right now that's been on the market for, oh my gosh, 10 days and it's not under contract. You might have to call and have a price reduction conversation. But how you say that matters. Like, hey, I have great news. We've tried out this price point. It's not working. So now our next action would be to let's reduce the price. We know that we need to move the price to get more buyers through the door. That sounds a lot better than, I don't know why we don't have any offers right now, but I really think that you need to reduce the price. So how you say things matters. And it's hard
Great
to be
news, our price sucks. Let's make it suck less.
Great news,
yeah,
right?
that's it. Yeah. It's super positive. Way to start the day. I was going to jump in real quick too, Susan. I remember your husband, John, who was one of our best scripters at 463. And he has the same haircut as Jason Hosey, just so you know. But he does have a mirror in the office. So while he's making his phone calls, he is standing and he is talking to himself, which I do at a high level as well. And that way you can see, your expression and you can keep it up and keep it light and keep the smile on your face because it does translate through the phone.
Yep.
Does translate through the phone.
Absolutely. And guess what? Happy people are more likely to achieve their goals. So if you want to set an appointment during Ignite, be more happy. It's important.
Yeah, well, like attracts like, right?
Yep.
You're.
Yep. So we're going to go for a break. Before we do, we have time for a couple of ahas. If anybody has anything that's resonated with them for the first section of our class today.
I think I have something that oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have a couple of ahas that a few things that Susan said. One was remind yourself every day what your goals are. I got lost this year. I started out in January like a lion and ended up like a kitten at this point of the year. A few bad deals just really got me down and I was just totally lost. But reminding yourself every day what your goals are, like, mine is to buy a house and pay mostly cash. So it's one good thing to get up in the morning and remind yourself that. And the other thing you said was have your children hound you and be your accountability. My children do know what the goal is, but I've never really gotten them involved with, to be accountable for me. But that is such a great idea because they will be really in on that, telling me, well, don't forget you said this.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Ashley?
Just a couple of things that really resonated with me is definitely to respond quickly. I feel like there's been a lot of mini opportunities lost because I'm like second guessing myself or how to respond, or is it too soon to respond? And I think becoming action oriented is going to be like my biggest goal this month. Also the building relationships regularly. Again, I would tell this story to myself, like I'm bugging them. It's too soon. I just saw them at the open house yesterday. 8 a.m. responding is too early. No, it's not. That's my job. It's my job to initiate the relationship, not theirs. I have to initiate their relationship. And also just moving the needle forward in my business every single day, reminding myself progress, not perfection, anything I can do. I mean, things are crazy. I don't have childcare just yet. So I'm always having a toddler running around. And so it's hard for me to have a set time and schedule right now, but as long as I know I'm moving the needle forward in my business every single day, it's a marathon, you know. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And you know what? Bring your toddler with you. I've had to bring my daughter when I first started to places, and I welcome when I'm with the co-broke and they have their kids. Like, we're all in this together, people. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Cool. Hey, Jason.
Susan, I just wanted to say I'm having so much fun, so thank you. It's awesome. The last quote, I was like, you mentioned happiness is not an individual sport. What a great way to start off my sphere dialing calls, and with a little bit of happiness.
Absolutely.
That really hit me on the last thing that you shared. So thank you.
Love that. Love that. Fantastic. Cool. Well, I think this would be a great time for a quick break. Does that work for you guys? We'll take a quick break. It's 10:28 now, so we have a lot to cover still. So can we come back at 10:35?
Perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
Give me 1 second.
Guys, I was just gonna say, if you guys got questions, if you're hanging out and you've already got your coffee or you're mid-conversation with your cat, before we get back at 35, if you got questions, throw them in the chat, or you can simply raise your digital hand or just unmute and ask questions, because we are here in the room. We're just staying on mute, so you guys can do what you need to do before 10:35. But we're here. If you got questions.
Hello.
Okay, I'll give everybody another minute and then we're gonna jump right in because I'm behind schedule. I'm kind of a chatty Cathy and I'm a squirrel.
Yeah, hang on, Susan. We got Matt Urban and Nathan Dick. You want to say hi to the troops?
Oh,
if you wanna-
awesome.
you can go grab that because this is sort of like half the microphone.
Oh, you guys are lucky.
You can put it in your ear. You can look into the camera.
Sitting down.
Urban's like it's like me wearing your underwear. I licked it before. Yeah. So now it's in your ear with yeah. Is it working? I don't think so. No, you just put it in and now I got nothing. Now I got nothing. Like you shut it off. Is it too much?
All right, can you hear me?
I
can hear you now. There we go.
What are we talking about?
It's session 1 of Ignite. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? What do you want to talk about? Session 1 of Ignite.
We were just talking about the 6 personal perspectives. Accountability,
You're right
so
there.
fun.
Building your foundation.
Yep. Getting over limiting beliefs.
How many of you are getting in cars to see Mark King? There are still a few tickets left, which is blowing my mind.
It is, yeah.
He is, president of the largest real estate company in the world. So but he's here, small room. So
Tickets.
you guys are not that far away. The tickets are super cheap.
2705 after your fee on Eventbrite, and it's all going to KW Cares.
Yeah, so it's help us raise some money. He's gonna talk about wealth building. So I'm not talking about the 6 person perspective.
MCTT, you're not coming in clearly.
Oh.
I don't know what tickets you're talking about.
Oh, Nathan's cutting out. We'll speak for Nathan. Nathan's just gonna move your lips, Nathan. Yes. Yep. So Nathan's talking about the fact that we are at the Assembly Row Hotel in Somerville. Mark King, the president of Keller Williams International, is coming today from 1 to 4 to talk about wealth building, and there are still tickets available. So if you go to the link that has been pushed all over the region, and we can drop into the chat if you want to, it's $25, $27.05 after your fee to come down and be part of that conversation. There are still some seats left. That was what Nate was trying to say. This is a wired headset from 1932, so I think it's.
I think we have 10. I think we have 10 tickets left.
10 tickets left.
And it took us an hour, a little less than an hour to get here from Portsmouth, so it's not a bad ride. Come on down. If you're in Nashua, it's closer. And I don't know, it took Matt. How long did it take you to get here? Not very long. Hour and 20 from Connecticut. It's very conveniently located here at Assembly Square. We're gonna start doing a lot of events here probably. Come say
I
hello.
like this. I like this a lot.
Let me see. I'm just looking. It looks
You're
like
right
we
there.
have 83 people.
80. So we had more before you guys showed up. So
They left. They
yeah,
were like, oh.
Nate showed up and 10 people were like, I've got to go now. Yeah.
So here's my advice that you did not ask. Number one, congratulations for showing up. That's like step one. Right? Step one in everything is just showing up. So you guys are here. I would also encourage you guys to participate at a really high level. So like I see a lot of black boxes with just the name on it.
Get Terry and Lisa.
This is a direct
Callahan.
contact industry, right? Like this is a place where we make eyeball to eyeball contact with human beings for a living. So assuming you are fully clothed, we don't care about bedhead. I would strongly encourage you to turn on your camera. It's also a great opportunity.
I would like them to be groomed, but go ahead. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
You would like
No.
I would encourage you to turn on your camera, engage with the instructors, engage with
Your
each
hair
other.
looks great, by the way.
This is not only an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to network with each other and create relationships. All of you guys are doing business in different places, right? So you can learn from each other and you can also pass referrals back and forth. It's really hard to build a relationship with a black box with a native. So I would encourage you to just lean in, treat it like a real class, turn your cameras on, engage with each other and get the most you can out of the sessions that you have.
I would say then after that, go to the market center and find your place in a market center. We can draw an absolute correlation for people that show up at the office that don't to the people that show up at the office do a ton more business. It's whatever stories people tell themselves to work from home. It typically does not show up in their production.
It's a verb. We call it officing.
Yeah, almost never does it show up in production. Are the biggest agents at our market center, which is Portsmouth, they all show up in an office every morning and work from an office. They do not work from home. And they do not, they have space. So I would encourage you to go be a part of your office, become part of that family, get used to going into work, treat this like a real job because it is. Those agents succeed at the highest level. So.
Hey, Timothy, I have a quick question for you. I was just coming back on break and I caught the tail end of your guys' conversation. Did you guys see there's only 10 tickets available left for the fall kickoff?
No,
it's for
no,
today. It's
For today, there's about 10. There's about 10 left for today.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
for marketing today. And which, so Matt was going to offer one more deep thought, and then I want to make sure that one of you or both of you talk about October, because that's also in Boston, very important. Oh, yeah, I think.
So we have, we're lucky this year, New England Masterminds, it's not New England Masterminds, it's Internationals Mastermind will be in Boston. That's, I don't have the date in front of me.
October 2 through the 4th.
Yep. Those dates, October 2 through the 4th. I would encourage you to go. It's a chance to do a national event without flying. Speakers will be very high caliber. If you're a luxury agent, there's a luxury event before that. It's about $2,600 to a luxury event. It's an experiential learning event. There'll be some tours there. You'll meet a lot of people from outside talking about how they had success. The mastermind itself is, I think, $350. It's not a lot of money to go to the mastermind. I would $500. $550. Sorry, it's $550. It's not a lot of money for the mastermind. I would still go to the mastermind.
Nate's going to be there. It's well worth it.
It's going to be great. The mastermind events are very focused. They're high energy, a lot of information, will change your business. I would encourage you to go to it. And again, it's so close. We should have a huge showing there. Great opportunity to network, great opportunity to build referral relationships with everybody. So please come. Matt?
Lastly, a shout out to Lindsay White. I see you there. Always learning. Love you. I don't know what you're eating, but I am hungry, so I would like some.
Oh, if you want, we have Scandinavian swimmers.
When I get back.
If you want.
Last thing, there are far more entertaining things to do than being. You can watch Housewives or whatever these shows are that are on TV if you want to be entertained.
So judgy.
Hopefully you are not here to be entertained. You're here to learn and actually take action.
I was going to juggle later, but we
He is the entertainment today.
do the
Timmy
things.
is very entertaining.
Do the
I
things.
actually
But
do
your
the
point, do the
things.
things. We talked about that
And
this
by the
morning.
way, if you guys take breaks to make phone calls and or take action on lead generation, which is nothing more than communicating with human beings, don't be the one who drops off Zoom, right? That is the point where you take the education to action to actually get a result. So just lean in and actually do the action. You're not here to be entertained, you're here to learn and then take action on what you learn.
Turn your cameras on.
That's it. You guys have
Awesome.
amazing instructors, have an amazing class, and hopefully we will see you at one of our live events soon. Life happens in real life. Live. Show up at that stuff.
Thank you, boys.
Okay.
We are, oh, awesome. This is great. Now I feel like we're dating. Erdman had his earplug in my, yeah. So I want to remind you guys, we are remarkably fortunate to have the regional leadership that we do. I always tell our agents at 463, and I'll say it for all of region number 17, we are the spoiled rich kids of real estate. You have no idea how good our regional team is compared to most. It's embarrassing. So please, the fact that we have Matt Erdman and Nathan Dickey and Tiffany and Brooke and Jen and Cassie working so hard for us every day is pretty awesome. So please lean into that. These events like this, these don't happen. This is because Matt and Nate ultimately twisted an arm of our president for Mark King to come up here and play with you guys. So can't make it today. I completely understand it. Get your face in October to the Seaport for Fall Masterminds. The entire company's coming to Boston. We get to play host. You guys get to build huge relationships and hear from the best. So book that weekend, please. I'll shut up now, which I don't do often. So jump in, Susan, before I keep talking. And
Okay,
Michelle,
we're going to keep going. We're going to keep
did
going.
Michelle get her question in? Yes. Okay.
She did. So we're gonna buzz through now. We're gonna go a little bit faster pace because we're going to run short on time, but we're going to jump into KW culture, which is part of what we just talked about with even having the ability to have Matt and Nate just pop right in on our training session today. KW culture. Wow, we are so, did I skip any? Let me make sure I didn't. Okay. Okay, so we have our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. We have Red Day, we have KW Care. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of those. Red Day is there going to be a separate slide for that? Yes. So our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. Super important. We're going to take a look back at the mission and beliefs of Keller Williams in a minute. So we're going to keep on going past this as we dig deeper. But we're going to start with a little video that Zoe has in here for us. Hold on, I have to unplug.
In 2023, Keller Williams turns 40. And sometimes, midlife crisis is a good thing. Now, we aren't going to run out and buy a flashy sports car, or a boat, or some other toy. And we aren't suddenly going to grow a mustache, because we've already got one. But it is time for something big, because that's what we do. It's time to tell the world who we really are, and why we were called to this. T.S. Eliot said, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started, and know the place for the first time." We started as a small real estate company, with a mission to become so trusted by our clients that we could become their realtor for life. But of course, Gary Keller taught us that to be realtors for life, we had to be more than realtors. We're coaches, therapists, mentors, mind readers, and magicians. We're digital hunters with human touch. Wheelers and dealers who only use our powers for good. We are advocates and shoulders to cry on, friends to lean on, and confidants to trust. Together, we are the keys and the doors to new futures. This is the most important time in our lives, as a company, and simply as people. Your clients are feeling that same thing when they come to you. Their first homes, their final homes, newly married, newly divorced, empty nesters or more on the way. These are the most joyous, terrifying, and hopeful times of all our lives. Because your clients are jumping off cliffs and trusting you to build wings on the way down. We get to feel the thrill of that connection every day, if we do our jobs right. And if we do our jobs right, they aren't jobs at all. It is indeed a calling. To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. To be entrepreneurs. For 40 years, we at Keller Williams have deeply believed that entrepreneurship is the miracle of America. That in America, if you can dream it, you can build it. We're privileged to be in the business of buying and selling the most important and life-changing dream. The dream of owning a home of your own. It's not just an American dream, it's a dream shared around the world. At Keller Williams, we want to continue to earn the right to be the home of the dreamers, the doers, the entrepreneurs, the hundreds of thousands of you who have dreamed and built your own business, and in the process, built ours. We all know everything changes, but we will always champion you, the entrepreneurs who are powered by purpose, by energy and passion, teamwork, trust, and technology, integrity and culture, and trained in the rules of how we would do it, but who also have the confidence to bend the rules in ways Gary never dreamed of, but hoped you would. You see, we aren't here to teach you our past, or to try and predict your future. We're here to help you create the future. We are reigniting a culture of celebrating entrepreneurial visionaries. Because real leaders don't create followers. We create more leaders. We are teaching rebellion and inspiring invention. Your mavericks and world changers, and your relentless creativity, fueled by the competitive drive inside every one of you, will make the real estate models of today look quaint by the time you're finished. Everything we ever did was a risk. We started as a little underdog company and grew to be the largest real estate company in the world. You know what underdogs do when they get big? They look for bigger fights. Look for those fights. We want you to out-Gary Gary. Take risks. Take heart. Take action. All these things that you are for your clients, the coach, the therapist, and the key to a new future, we will redevote ourselves to being for you. There's a reason we want your name larger than ours on signs. When you look at your clients and think to yourself, it's not about me, it's about them. Well, it's not about us. It's about you. This is the most important time in our lives. You're living in a home built for entrepreneurs to thrive. And true entrepreneurs don't have to wait for doors to open for them. After all, we have our own lockboxes. Welcome home.
That was awesome. That's the first time I've seen that one. Really great. How'd you guys like that? So that was, yeah, I like it. Thumbs up is good. Thumbs up is good. So he really talked about our mission, right? Keller Williams' mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth living. And Ignite focuses on helping to build careers worth living. And of course, the intention is to build businesses worth owning as well. My favorite line on this here is legacies worth living, because for some reason that seems to really be resonating with me personally lately. What am I doing in my career that will be remembered, and how am I going to be remembered in the marketplace and in my community? But that is the Keller Williams mission. I think it's a pretty awesome one myself. Okay. Our belief system is the Y4C2Ts. And this, I keep this up on in my wall at my office. And the first one is just so powerful. Win-win, right? Win-win or no deal. In a transaction, when both parties are feeling like you're winning, then the transaction is going to go a lot more smoothly on both sides. Integrity, do the right thing. Guys, we have to decide, this is a personal belief I'll share with you. Every day when I wake up, I decide who I am. I decide my morals, my character, my ethics, because guess what? As we go through transactions, we're going to be encountered with agents that might be challenging to work with, transactions that start going sideways. And we want to hold them together. And sometimes you might encounter like options to have shortcuts or maybe not do the right thing. But because I tell myself every morning who I am as a person, when I'm faced with a challenge or a hard decision to make, it's not hard because I've already decided. I've set my integrity bar. And my decisions that I make in my life and my business follow that. So integrity is super important, especially in real estate. That will set you aside from other agents in your marketplace for sure. Customers always come first, right? Commitment in all things. We decided to get our license. We decided that we're going to have this career. We need to be committed to it. Communication, seek first to understand. That's where we can come from curiosity. Right? And communication comes from all different avenues, right? Like we could have verbal communication, email communication, text communication. What type of communication is the most appropriate right now? And if we're receiving communication from someone and there's tone in it, ignore the tone and seek first to understand. Call and say, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about this? Or what's happening here? I'm sensing that something's going wrong, or I'm sensing that something's going right. But we choose not to get upset. We choose to be professional, and we seek first to understand. Remember, I think it's important to acknowledge that after these last couple of years, people are stressed out, man. They're tired. The prices of things are going up. We have inflation. We still have weird COVID stuff, and people are getting stressed out. If someone comes at you and with stress or unflattering communication, give them grace, give them time, and then come from curiosity, being a solution-oriented person so that we can go back to having a win-win or no deal. Creativity, ideas before results. What's another way that we can solve this problem? Okay, something comes up in a listing or a buyer or a transaction. Let's get creative on solving the problem. Teamwork, everyone achieves more. And sometimes your co-broke is your team. If you're in a transaction, your co-broke is 100% in your team. Okay? If you need to build a team, you know, Jason was talking about overcoming being a newer agent. Build your team. Get a mentor. Who's somebody in your office that can help you with things? Make them part of your team. Trust starts with honesty. Okay. Sometimes we're delivering bad news, but we're honest about it. It doesn't do anybody any good not to be honest. It will always come back to bite you. So honesty, equity, opportunities for all. You know, when we all win together, we all will achieve more. Let's build each other up. Opportunities for all. We help our fellow agents. We help our fellow agents in Keller Williams and our fellow agents that are not in Keller Williams. Success through people, right? No, together we all achieve more. And this is the core of Keller Williams belief systems. Okay. And we have Red Day, renew, energize, and donate. It's the second Thursday of May every single year. And this is where the entire company takes time to give back to our communities that have been really good to us. It's important that we be good to our communities. If you haven't been here long enough to participate in a Red Day or know much about it, be prepared. Around May, they'll probably be telling you what the Red Day activities are going to be for your market center. But each market center picks projects within the community that as brokerage as a whole participates in. And KW KW Cares. Okay, KW takes care of its own. KW Cares is dedicated to serving associates and their qualifying family members that are going through a hard time as a result of an emergency. So you have opportunities to donate to KW Cares, and it can be a little bit or a lot. I have a little bit taken out of my transactions at closing. I never see it, but I'm giving what I can. Some people give a lot out of every transaction. Whatever you can do can help. But I know in Portsmouth, we've had some of our agents that have been able to benefit from this. People go through hard times, and it's important that we are there for each other. So if you are able to donate to KW Cares, it really is a fantastic, fantastic organization.
Susan, I was just going to jump in real quick. You
Yeah.
guys locally can talk to your MCAs in your respective offices and have that set up in opportunities that it does get pulled out. There's a Bold scholarship fund that you can throw a couple shekels into as well. So if you've taken Bold and enjoyed Bold and it's helped you build your business, they have an ongoing fund for when they do offer Bold locally. They will make known to each market center that there's a scholarship fund for people who might require some financial assistance to get themselves into that class, because we know the power of that class. And back to KW Cares, we have a local story at our market center at 463. Michael Gagnon, one of our agents, his son has been in remission for 6 years. He's at Boston Children's. Over the weekend, they discovered that his leukemia is back. So if you have $1 or more that you want to throw that way, we would appreciate it. We started this just about 24 hours ago. We're already at 12,000. Eclipse $12,000. It's Gagnon, Gagnon, GagnonFamilyFund.com will take you to the GoFundMe page. We want to make sure that Michael and Amber and their family can focus on just Maxwell. So it's for them for gas and for restaurant food, because there's an bon pain in the lobby, but I think you grow weary of that after some time. So, and obviously medical expenses as well. So Gagnon Family Fund, if you want to get involved in something locally within our region, we'd really appreciate the support for that.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, it's a fantastic organization. Okay, we're going to buzz right through. We're going to catch up on AHAs at the very end, so that we make sure that we get to everything. So we're going to now get into KW value and market center value. You know, it's so awesome that you guys picked Keller Williams, because I've never actually been at any other brokerage. And I get calls frequently to sit down and have conversations with other brokerages. And my response is, I'm just so happy at Keller Williams. There's not even a chance that I'm leaving. It's a wonderful place to be. It's KW Value Awards. We're top franchise for veterans in 2021. How awesome is that? The largest global real estate franchise, top female-friendly company, top 500 franchises in 2022, World's Best Employers 2021, America's Best Customer Experience 2022, America's Best Employers for Women and New Grads, Best Employers for Diversity in 2021, and more. And I know when you kind of melt that down into everything starts from the top, right? This is our top. How awesome is that? And that all follows right down into your market centers. People in our leadership, they care. And I follow their example. My business is based on caring about people, because that's what my leadership has shown me. They care about me, and they care about the agents that are in their team. Training and coaching. I mean, you really can't I can't think of other training that they're not offering at Keller Williams. We have Connect and Connect Live, so you can go on to KW Connect and take there's lots of training opportunities there that you can do at your own pace in your own time. There's lots of local and regional training. If you haven't been to a national event, there is Family Reunion that comes up in February, and Mega Camp that just happened in Austin in August. There's Keller Williams University, which provides things like Ignite. And, you know, they update these things too. This is different material than it was 2 years ago. So they have resources. They're putting real dollars and real resources into making sure that the trainings that they give us are current and effective and relative to what is happening in our market today, so that we have the best chances of success that we possibly can have. KWU enablement, that's where we have command training. If you all are not in command or not using command, it's time to dip your toes in the water, or even better yet, just jump right into the pool. That's your database. Your database is your business. It's important to keep it organized and utilize it. And there's a lot of command training that's available virtually that you can go online and get when it works for your schedule. And there's lots of different course opportunities in KW Maps. So you'll start, if you haven't heard of KW Maps, you'll be hearing more and more about that. And one of those courses is Bold, which will really, if it comes to your market center, please go. If it's in person, please, please, please go. If you're struggling with lead generation, this will help get you off the ledge. They do have accountability built into Bold. They have scripting built into Bold. There's a lot of personal growth that happens in Bold. What I love about a lot of these trainings is that they really are about personal growth and caring. And when you care and you have that type of personal development, it helps your business. A lot of the training is about mindset. Okay. KW Technology, Command. So Command is your integrated end-to-end Keller Cloud platform for running and growing your business. So I don't know if you can see, is my mouse hovering over? It's basically like your phone. These are all your apps over here. And they're there for a reason. If you guys haven't gone in there to start, please start using Command. You can click on here to start inputting contacts. You know, when you have transactions, there's an app for that. It's called Opportunities. When you're looking for referrals, there's an app for that, for finding referrals in other areas of the country. When you're looking for marketing, there's Smart Plans. There's an app for that. So you just play around on these different applets over here, and it will take you to where you need to go. And if you know, a great best practice is to just put it in your calendar to spend some time in command. One of the things I love about the opportunities, that's where when you go under contract, when you sign a listing agreement or a buyer agency agreement, you create an opportunity, and that's where all of your documents live and breathe. There's checklists in there that tell you what you have to have. It's dummy proof. And then it will give you this, you know, it will give you like your goals breakdown. It will give you your GCI goal breakdown. How far into your goal have you gone? When you're in an opportunity, there's commission tabs, and it will tell you how close you are to capping. So there's all kinds of really great tools here that can help you. I don't know why I keep going backwards. Okay. And you have a KW Command app for your phone. Okay, it's a consumer-facing counterpart to Command. Your contacts may search by neighborhood. You can give this to your customers and to your clients so that they can utilize the benefits of the KW app. And it's buy, sell, and facilitate the entire transaction. So if you need stuff from your command, you can get that through your app at your fingertips out on the road. You don't always have to be sitting at your desk. They're going to walk through more of the KW app in day 3 of Ignite. So today's Thursday, Friday, Monday or Tuesday. They'll be going through that. Okay. Okay. Profit share and growth share. Okay, so this is really a fantastic opportunity. On the 21st of every month, if you have people in your downline, you get a nice little check deposited into your checking account. So what is profit share and growth tree? You know, when we are sponsoring people into Keller Williams and they have named us as their sponsor and they start producing and closing transactions, a certain percent of that profit comes back to you in terms of profit share. It's passive income. There are trainings on profit share. If you're in the 463, they do that quarterly at a minimum, where we're really trying to get people that maybe they're working at another brokerage. We want to get them to talk to our team leaders about the benefits of joining Keller Williams so that they can be part of our Keller Williams family and grow their business here. It's completely, entirely, wholly, and absolutely passive income. It's money that you receive without doing anything actively to earn it. So once that person is part of Keller Williams, and they can be in any market center and still name you as their sponsor, once they're producing, you start getting a piece of that from the profit piece out of that transaction.
Yeah, if your market center is offering a profit share class, please jump into that to have a better understanding. And just for clarity's sake,
yeah,
the agent has named you sponsor. They're at a market center that is profitable. It's not we had a sort of good month share, it's profit share, right? So their market center has to be profitable. They had to have been productive in that same month. So on September 21st, kids are going to see mailbox money that's delivered from the profitability of August. And that comes from owner's profit, not from the commission side of the agent. Owner's profit. It's owner's profit.
I will touch on, Helen has asked, Command is great, but as far as time management, what is the best way as a real estate entrepreneur to manage time effectively? Stay in Ignite. There's going to be a whole section in one of the sessions on your calendar and time management that we will talk about that. So I'm not going to deep dive into that because that's a squirrel time for me. We don't have time for that. But I promise you, if you stay in Ignite every day, this is going to come up and it's going to be a much longer conversation just about time management. Okay, but we are going to jump into some Keller Williams resources. And we have a lot of them. We have Keller Mortgage. We have Keller Manage. We have Keller Covered and Keller Offers. So depending on what area of the country you're in, these may be more and more prevalent down in the southwestern region, but they are moving more up more into this area. Keller Mortgage is definitely up into this area where they offer mortgage opportunities for your buyers that are looking to purchase. So you'll be seeing some more information on that as well. Okay. We have KW Communities. So there's a lot of specialty areas in Keller Williams that you can be affiliated with. And sometimes there's some requirements to be able to join these communities, like KW Luxury has some requirements on the homes, the price points of the properties that you're selling. But there's a ton of them. Inclusion and belonging. KW Commercial. If there's a KW Commercial agents near you and you have commercial opportunities, what I love about KW Commercial is if you refer a commercial person to them, you get a referral fee from that for life. So if you send them someone and they do repeated business, you get a referral fee for each transaction. At least in the 463, I know they do it, they practice it that way. KW Land, KW Luxury. If you're selling properties at a high price point, that's a great community for you to belong in. KW Military, KW New Homes, Sports and Entertainment. Young professionals, this may apply to a lot of folks on this call. I think the age cap on that is
39 and under.
For 39 and under. You
Yeah.
know, these communities are built so that you can be part of a group that has a business focus that's similar to yours, and offer masterminds and best practices and stuff like that that can help you. KW Wealth, KW Relocation, KW Planning, and KW Design. So there is more information out there on your KW resources on any of those communities if something might work in your business.
Where do we find more about those? In Connect or something?
Most likely Connect, but I would go right back to your market center as well if you need a person to talk to. But I would poke around on KW Connect and you can get some additional information on those communities.
I've never heard of
Zoe's gonna
KW
drop-
Design. What is that? Do we know?
Style and design is going to be about like staging.
Staging? I'm
and
an interior
that kind of stuff.
designer, so it's like I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoe's going to drop
Thanks.
the link for communities in the chat. And to Susan's point, go back to your local leadership because you probably have a representative for Keller Young Professionals, commercial, homes, land, all that kind of stuff. So and sports and entertainment is one of the emerging groups. So just reach out to your local leadership to find out who the liaison is for your market center and for the region. And just to update on luxury too, I know for a while it was about 500,000 in New England. It's now 750. You have to sell a certain amount of homes at or above 750 in a 12-month period. I believe it's 3. I'm probably wrong, so don't quote me.
It's 3.
Go talk to somebody at your market center. And it just gives you the opportunity to utilize that branding and lean into those conversations. Luxury is going to have an event prior to Fall Masterminds in Boston this October.
Yep. So our next section, and I am moving a little bit more quickly because I really want to get you guys out of here on time so I can honor your schedule. But we're going to talk about your career vision. And this is the fun part, right? Our career vision. And so we're going to talk about what drew you to this career and what excites you about this career? Because it's exciting. Real estate is a super fun and exciting industry, but what excited you to this career? So a fun activity is to envision your future 1 year from now. And we've talked about the importance of setting goals. And part of your goal setting and really setting goals is also something that you should be sitting down and have some quiet space around that to really be purposeful on the goals that you want to set, you know, for the next week, month, 6 months, year. So as we're looking for a year, what does your life look like if when you let's imagine 1 year from today, and you can write your date in there if you want to in your participants guide, and say this is what has happened over the last 12 months, and you can look back and reflect on that. Your business is this is an example. Like your business is thriving and your life is everything that you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your friends and family are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You're building the foundation and momentum for your career, your entire career, and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you deserve. You are the top agent in your market center, or maybe you're rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. That could be you, Jason. You are on the path to, and then you fill in the rest. This is a great visualization exercise because now you can write down all of the things that need to have happened over this year to make this happen. So if your friends and family are referring business your way, what are you doing over this next year for that to happen? If you believe it and you focus on it, it will happen because what we focus on expands, right? So if we are focusing on our business is thriving, then our business will thrive. If we are focusing on this is too hard, then everything that you attempt to do will be very hard. So what we say to ourselves matters. Our business is thriving. These are also kind of like affirmations, right? I have affirmations. I love to do them. And before I'm calling people, if it's hard, I'm like, you know what? This person's lucky I'm calling them. That's what I tell myself. I'm a little vain that way. This is going to be an exercise that you guys can do on your own. It's in your participants guide. And the idea is for you to fill in in these boxes. So it's like expanding your thinking beyond a year. What does your big life look like? So we won't do this right this minute, but I will encourage you guys to do this after class and take some time to think about what's really important to you. Ideas are, you know, is there something important to you that you want to donate to? Do you want to get somebody through college? Do you need to pay off your mortgage? Do you want to be able to buy something important for a spouse or a parent? Do you want to be able to buy a vehicle for your mom? My son's not here. I would have said that louder. But you know, think about what you want to do here. Do you want to go on vacation? Do you want to take your family on a trip? Do you want to be able to hire an assistant? Do you know, what is big in your life? Do you want to be able to have your mortgage paid off? Do you want to be able to buy a second home?
I was going to say Liam's saving up to get you that electric bed loan.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
right.
Yeah, burnt orange.
And the important part of this exercise is this word right here, big. Think big. And after you do it, re-examine it and say, did I go big enough? Could I go bigger? What would my life look like if I went bigger? To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. And that's what your big why is. I'm working my tail off for what? You need to have a big why because this job is a lot, you guys. This is a career and it is a job and it is not easy. We see people at their worst. We're therapists sometimes to them. We're sometimes helping people through divorce. We're sometimes helping them into great situations. We sometimes are working with buyers that might have financial struggles to get to that closing table. We have some really strict deadlines. We have some fierce competitors in our marketplace. And we choose to do this every day. So why? We need to know why. What is our big why for that? So spend some time on that. When you know your big why, it will make the challenging times a lot easier. And put it up where you can see it.
Shameless plug for Simon Sinek. The book is Start With Why. It's a white cover, red letters. There's a workbook that goes with it, which is Find Your Why. And he's got 2 other books, and we love him. So his second book is, so again, Start With Why, Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. Second book is Leaders Eat Last. And the third book is The Infinite Game. Start With Why is a phenomenal book.
Yeah. You know what's going to be so awesome, and I can't wait for this to happen to all of you guys. As you go through this training and other trainings with Keller Williams, where we're talking about these things that are so important, and we're talking about things like mindset and being positive, and we're talking about win-win or no deal. We're talking about integrity. We're talking about honesty and trust. This is going to become who you are to other people in your community and in your sphere. That's what's going to be the difference. When you're asking why is someone going to pick you over somebody else, that's it. That's going to be why. They're going to feel that from you. It's going to be contagious, that energy. You're going to lift other people up in the process, which is super empowering. And that can be part of your big why. It's part of mine. And I'm not too shamed to say, where do your commission dollars go? I love earning commission. I earn my unfair share. I want to be able to earn more of my unfair share. And I don't think there's anything wrong with guys going out there and saying, you know what, this is an opportunity for you to make a lot of money. And you do that by helping a lot of people. But as we do that, where do your commission dollars go? If you're the listing agent, you got to pay the co-broke, right? They're going to take some of it. Your market center takes a little piece of it. You have business expenses like your business cards, your marketing material, when you have an assistant, things like that. You have to pay your taxes. Don't forget to pay your taxes. That really stinks when you don't pay your taxes until the end and you didn't save for them. And then after all that, you have what you get to take home. So when we're out there earning our commission, remember that some of those dollars go to these other things. So we have to really be mindful about our financials and how we're spending money. Towards the end of Ignite, there is a great section on financials, which I hope all of you make sure that you put in your calendar. And I think, and Matt Erdman sometimes teaches that. If he is the teacher, he's great at it.
Yeah, Matt Erdman will deliver his wealth building course usually quarterly.
Okay.
So that'll be coming up again, and yeah,
there's still time today to go see that.
No, we're sold out now, though. I thought. Yeah, we're sold. Yeah, it's officially sold out. But yeah, so Mark King's talking about wealth building today. Matt Erdman does a wealth building seminar that he rolls out quarterly. It usually runs on Thursdays. It's like 4 different classes. And keep an eye out in your local market centers if your local market center is teaching agent financials, and sometimes it gets delivered regionally as well.
Yeah. We work really hard for our money, guys, so it's very important to get real about the money and the dollars and where they're going, and making sure that we're being good advocates for our own budget and the money that we bring home to our families. And so here, this kind of breaks down an example of an income goal, right? So if you have a net income goal of $100,000, you'll be paying $30,000 into company dollar and royalty caps, right, to Keller Williams in your market center. And you'll have business expenses. You might have $50,000 worth of business expenses in this example. Your total gross commission would have to be $180,000. And if your average commission is $9,000, this would be an annual transaction goal of 20. Your market center, well, I'll tell you what, go to your business planning clinic that's going to be happening this fall. There's going to be sections that will help you define what your transaction goal needs to be. And you kind of start at the top with what's your income goal, and it will break it down to how many transactions that you have to do. So when we talk about setting appointments, it's going to break it down even further. How many appointments do you have to go on if you want to earn $100,000? And the importance of this is that it kind of makes it more real. It gets real when you talk about how many appointments do I have to set in order to have a transaction goal of 20, in order for me to have a net income of $100,000. And there's agents that are out there that do this their first year. If they can do it, you can do it. Then for 2024, increase your goal. What if you want your net to look like $200,000? And then you break it down into your annual transaction goal. There is a bigger section on that, which I'm going to bypass because we have 6 minutes left. But I will encourage you all to go to your business planning clinic because they will break these numbers down for you. And this is in your participants guide as well.
Well, and for clarity, Susan, we don't explode in 6 minutes, so you can run a little bit over, but like, yeah.
Okay.
We also know people probably booked their face for something at 11:35, so we can stretch it out a little bit, but.
Yep.
Yeah, business planning clinic, guys. I can't say it enough. When you see it on the regional calendar, if your market center is hosting it, get your face to that class.
Yep. So there is a section in your participants guide where you can fill in the blanks to do the math. And guys, it's all about the math. The math doesn't lie. You have to actually put the time into setting appointments. You start with making contacts. You have to make a contact in order to set the appointment. You need to set the appointment in order to get an agency agreement. You need to have an agency agreement before you can get a purchase and sales agreement. And you need a purchase and sales agreement before you can sit at a closing table and earn some money. And if it's not in today's section, the number's 4. You need to do 4, 4, 4, and 4. You need to make 10. The number's 10. You need to make 10 contacts a day. You need to send 10 handwritten notes. You need to preview homes. If you're not setting the appointments, you're not going to get to the section of having an income. So let's start there with the goal of Ignite. Remember, the goal of Ignite is to have at least 1 appointment by the end of Ignite, which really I think is easy because that's a whole month. And you should double down on that and have at least 2 appointments by the end of Ignite. It's definitely doable. Okay. And we have a success system for that. Here it is. 10 conversations added to 10 conversations had daily. So if you set your time goal for 9 to 12 and you're at 8, keep going. The number's 10. You need 10 conversations daily. And those are conversations about real estate, like a back and forth. We're actually communicating about real estate. And there's a lot of people that want to do that, digitally. And so if you're on Facebook and you're having an actual messaging back and forth about real estate, that's a contact. But put value into it. If you're cheating on the number of 10, it's only on yourself. This isn't for my benefit. It's for yours. You want to add 10 contacts to your database and make them good contacts, right? Have their full names, their phone numbers, their email addresses, their physical addresses. Find out what's important about them. Put notes in there. Find out when you can plot when their next opportunity to transact is most likely going to be. If you have information on their family, put that in there. Make them really good contacts. The more information that you have in there, the more quickly you're going to be able to be in front of them when it's their turn to transact. Because the goal is that when they're ready to transact, they think of you first. And they have a 10-5-1 social media engagement. And, social media is part of our lives. If you're not engaging with people on social media, then you may be missing out on some really big opportunities because, people want to do business with people that care. And social media is a great opportunity for you to be the person that is caring and offering help. So sometimes, go ahead.
If people have their sharp crayons, scratch this out, the 10-5-1. We want to make sure that we're doing 10 hearts or likes. We're doing 5 comments and 1 post. Every
Daily.
day, Tim? Yep, every day. So, and the purpose of that is if we start to use social media and we are present online, and then we have an online presence, yet we're not present online. So making sure that you're engaging with your people's social media and then you're giving them content that is about the community in which they live. So you are a source of value. I'm going to say this until I die, which could be 20 minutes out, but we've had a good run. Without fail, you have not met a dentist who's jumping onto social media to let you know that they had 4 root canals and 3 fillings today and pounding their chest. Why don't they do that? Because nobody cares. And it doesn't serve the end user if I find out that Mildred just had her cap replaced and Ted got a root canal. It's about, well, how do I benefit from this? So showing up like the mayor of your town and talking about the restaurant that's opening or closing for the season, or the great place to go shopping now, the local shop, the new bar, whatever the case may be. So again, 10 hearts or likes, 5 comments, 1 post. Most of it is interactive with your people's social media drops, but you want to create content every day for them to consistently see that you're also in the arena and having a conversation and part of the community.
Yeah. And when you're posting, don't make all your posts about real estate. Nobody wants to hear just listed 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, just listed farmland, just listed. They don't want to hear that. They love pictures of closings. You might be showing a property that has a really unique feature. People like to see that. They like to see that you're a person and that you care. So they want to see what you're doing for activities. They want to see what your family life is like. But you do want to sprinkle in your real estate life, just doing it in a meaningful, purposeful way with things that people would be interested in seeing.
David White just had his hand up, Susan, by the way. David, go ahead.
It was the same question that a few people posted. That success system slide, do we have access to that somewhere? If it's not in the PDF.
Yeah, so it's actually in the slide deck, and I will tell you guys if you go into, we're gonna drop. Yeah.
If you go
go ahead.
It is, if you go to my KW to the education section, you can get the slide deck. There's an Ignite 6.0 section there too.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. This is important, the do not call list. We don't want to be calling people that don't want to hear from us. And the script, if you do happen to call someone that's on the do not call list, is, I'm so sorry, I'm going to remove you from my list. I hope you have a great day. Okay. So there is information, I believe it has also been posted to the regional Ignite Facebook page on the do not call list and the TCPA Act, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. So we do want to make sure that we're only reaching out and connecting with people that want to hear from us. There is a enormous fine, $41,000? $43,000 fine.
That's per violation. So unless you have an inordinate amount of discretionary income, you might want to look up donotcall.gov. And the best way to circumvent that issue, guys, is to make sure that you're calling the people that are on your phone. Because Aunt Gladys doesn't want another political call. Aunt Gladys doesn't want a sales call, but you can't wait to hear from you. Yeah. So people that are on do not call, the do not call list, it doesn't pertain to you if you have a relationship with them, if they're a met of yours. Outside of that, we want to make sure that we're adhering to that. So please make sure you're looking at donotcall.gov. You can create an account. You can have a few area codes, 5 area codes before it goes to a price. Above and beyond that, if you just stick to your phone, stick to the people that you know, and stick to the relations you're building through your Mets, it should not be an issue. Yet per violation, it is 43 grand. Gary, Mark King, Nate, Zoe, and Susan aren't going to be behind you with their checkbooks.
No.
Is independently wealthy. Yeah, adhere to the rules. So with love.
Yep. So somebody's asking from the previous slide, what was other enrichments offered at the end of each lesson which you'll learn more about as we move through Ignite. So that's kind of not a great answer for you.
Yeah, I'll pepper in real quick. If you're thinking about, I'll throw out the example of with all the books that we have. Think about the red book. Think about the blue book, Millionaire Real Estate Investor. That's a great book to have about 6 of those in your trunk. So when you are closing with your first-time home buyer and they're starting to think about their investment portfolio, just having that kind of stuff. So an enrichment is, and it doesn't have to be anything that's like cost prohibitive, but just having that additional gift or one other way to plus your relationship. So if you can, any end user would benefit from a copy of the one thing because it's applicable to all of our lives, all of our businesses. So that enrichment of, hey, I really enjoyed this book. I'd love for you to check it out. Or if you send them an Audible credit or whatever the case may be, those kind of enrichments, the way you can sort of surprise and delight your clients and your friends with, and it doesn't have to be, again, monetarily challenging, but just some sort of an additional gift or enrichment to continue the conversation and the relationship.
Gifts work, people. Spend the money and buy them a gift. Somebody sends you a referral, send them a thank you for the referral card with a $25 Starbucks card in it. Thank you, a latte. I really appreciate your referral. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that, but people like to be appreciated. And I'm an advocate for gifts. They really do work. Super important slide. Powerful conversations get results, right? What we
If I can
say
back up
matters.
real quick, Susan, because I can just sort of hear the universe talking to us. It is not a pay for play. So when we talk about gifting and being gracious with the people in your life, do not post on Facebook, hey, if you know anybody that can help me, there's a gift card in it for you. Yeah, we're not doing that. The law will come and take you away. So do not do that. That's not what we mean. But to Susan's point, it's about being gracious when people do offer you the referral opportunity, sending them a cup of coffee and thanking them for the opportunity. But not a, hey, I'm looking for referrals and I'll give you money if you give me a name. Unless you look great in orange, it's up to you.
That's a good point, Tim. So powerful conversations get results. People do business with people they like. So be that person, be more likable, right? It will help us with lead generation. We need to be able to have meaningful, powerful conversations around lead generating. We need to find out what people's motivations are. Why are they looking to buy? Why are they looking to sell? We come from curiosity and we ask a lot of questions because then we know how we can best help them. We help people make great decisions. That's really what our job is. Yes, it's buying and selling property, but really we're helping them make good decisions about their life. What will moving there do for your life? Are they wanting to get closer to grandchildren? Are they wanting to have less of a payment? Are they wanting to have less of a house to maintain? Are they looking for more of a house to have for entertainment? What is it? Have a powerful, meaningful conversation about that so that you know how to help them. Okay. Uncover motivations. And another really great reason that we need to know their motivation is as we're bringing them through this process, we sometimes need to bring them back to that motivation, right? If we are selling a property for someone and they need to get down to North Carolina because that's where their kids are, and they're not doing the things that we know that they need to do to get their home sold, we bring them back to that. You have 3 great offers here, Mr. Seller. They look like this. They don't want to take one of them. Let's bring them back. If you took this offer or we negotiated on this offer, we could get you down to North Carolina in 30 days. What would your life look like if you were able to spend Thanksgiving down in North Carolina with Timmy? We help them that way, but we can't help them if we don't know why, right? So it also helps us to identify objections. And I think it was Grace that had said earlier today, an objection of maybe a seller not wanting to work with her because she's not an experienced agent. Well, that is fantastic that they tell you that that's an objection. Sometimes they don't tell us what the objection is. So we have to ask great questions and have good conversations so that we get them to tell us what their objection is. When we overcome their objections, they'll take out their pen and sign the paper. Because we need them to sign agreements with us, right? So we need to uncover their objections. We need to identify their objections so that we can overcome them. If they have no more objections, there should not be any more reasons why they're not signing the contract. Powerful conversations close deals. Okay, there's a lot of work to get through closing a deal. That transaction to close, which I'll be coming back to teach because it's one of my favorite topics in the entire world, is powerful, but it's a lot of work. So we have to have powerful conversations, conversations with our clients, conversations with co-brokes, conversations with lenders and titles and appraisers and inspectors. So we need to be able to have direct, powerful conversations to get results. We need to speak in terms that the customer understands, right? They don't understand the Red Book and KW CLM and KW this. And we need to not use our realtor talk when we're speaking to our customers and our clients. We need to speak to them in terms that in language that they understand. Build powerful conversations, build confidence. Confidence for ourselves, in ourselves, and confidence for the public to have with us. This is a huge transaction for them. They need to have confidence in our ability to get them through the transaction in the most effective and positive way. So what we say matters, right? If we're having powerful conversations, so we need to practice powerful conversations. It's called scripting. So you need to script. You need to have scripting partners and scripting conversations so that you're practicing these conversations on each other, because we don't want to practice on our customers. This is really meat and potatoes for your job as a real estate agent, guys, being able to have these conversations. When you can master these, it will get you more referrals. It will get you more repeat business. It will get you higher commissions on listings that you take, which equals more income for you. So there'll be a lot more conversations during Ignite on scripting as part of your lead generation. The purpose and benefits of conversation. Here's some great examples. Did you find everything you were looking for? Go ahead and look around. Please let me know if I can help. I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? Sphere definition. People you have met in one way, shape, or form are your sphere, your SOI, sphere of influence. This is where you can really start to resonate with your lead generating. People that know you want to help you. They want to help your career. Your sphere generally are people that already like you, and people want to do business with people that they like. So reaching out and connecting with them through social media, or going out and sitting down and having a coffee, taking someone out for a beer, whatever area in your life is that makes sense to connect with your sphere of influence, these people can help you. They may not even be transacting right now, but they might know somebody who is. And this might be my favorite slide in Ignite when we talk about lead generating. And it's the wave, right? At the top over here under move, there's going to be 7 to 10 years when when they're going to be likely to transact. So when we're talking to people about real estate, we need to be able to put them on this wave. Where are they? Did they just move? Well, we can stay in touch with them lightly, because the most likelihood of them transacting again is going to be 7 to 10 years. So we want to keep in touch with them. How are things going in the new house? Does everybody like their rooms? How's the commute? Oh, you're having a baby. Oh, the space is getting a little bit cramped in there. They're going to give you some indications to when they hit the bottom of when they're going to now start climbing this wave to being ready to transact again. And these hashtags are life events. So when we're talking to our folks, we want to talk about what's going on in their life, right? These are easy conversations. Hey, what's going on in your life? What's going on with your family? They're downsizing or upsizing. That might be an indication that they're climbing that wave, getting ready to transact again. Right? They maybe have kids, and maybe they're like, you know what, we would love a vacation home. Find out about their family, their business, their recreations, their dreams. What are they looking to do? That will give you all the indications that you're logging into your command, so you know when they're going to be ready to transact again. and then you can be there for them. And when they get closer and they're ready to start looking, you're going to be the first person that they think of. So your business is this way when you're talking to people. You need to stay in touch with them and log that information so that when you call them the next time, you have that information to be able to have a conversation, a powerful conversation with them again. Does that make sense to everybody? Don't fear your sphere. This is the script: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. If you start asking people about their occupation, what's the most natural question for them to ask you?
How's the business, Susan?
Right?
I heard on the news it's crazy. Nobody can buy a house,
Yeah. Guess what?
rent
Now
a
you're just,
house,
yeah.
own a house, paint a house.
Now you're talking about real estate,
Mhm.
right? All of these subjects can come back to real estate. Family, for sure. Do they have enough room? People are Zooming like mad dogs now, right? Do they have a home office need now that they didn't have before? Are they having more kids? Are their kids moving out? Are they taking care of parents? How's your living situation for that? And how might you be able to help? How might you be able to shed some light on what other people are doing for solutions in areas that they're having? Okay. We are at the end. We made it all the way, you guys. Good job. We are 15 minutes behind, but we did get interrupted by Nate and Matt. So I'm going to blame a little bit of them, even if they're
Let's have an
sitting in a
honest
room.
conversation. I talk too much, but yeah, anyway. It's, I
No.
mean, you know, brass tacks the conversation.
But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you sticking it out with me. Does anybody have any ahas or questions or things that we can help you out with? Things that were
We resume on Tuesday, by the way. We resume on Tuesday after the holiday. It is not tomorrow. I misspoke.
anybody?
David
Quick
White.
thing, Susan, if I may.
Yeah.
So my wife and I heard a speaker a couple weeks ago who said something like, in this business, don't get freaked out about what you can or can't do for full results in 1 year. Think the long game. And as you're saying, the 7 to 10 years, obviously we need to eat and pay bills between now and then, but it's amazing. It's unlimited what we could do in the next 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. This industry is just riddled with opportunity. For sure.
Yeah, David, to that point, I'd recommend we do a thing in our market center every morning called the Quick Start. And when we talk about, we always say good morning. It's what's today? September 1st. Today's actually November 30th. We're 90 days out. We're always 90 days out. So the opportunity you create today is going to be a check at a closing table in 90 days. So always being in that window. Zoe must go. Yeah. Oh, we think we have somebody coming in to say hi. We'll see. We shall see. Possibly. We can mute for a second. We're trying to get somebody special to pop in and say hi to you guys. So the 61 of you that are wicked smart and hung out, I'm going to beg you to keep hanging out because I feel like there's an opportunity that he's going to come say hi. What's up, kid?
Find what I'm looking for.
Any other questions while we're
until
while
that
we're dragging time?
happens,
Yeah.
until that happens, guys, my husband was in real estate when I left Liberty Mutual to join real estate, to join him in real estate full time. And we had 3 small children and we had to make a 100% commission family work.
Susan, you want to kill the slide?
Yep.
Yeah,
We worked
kill
our
the
butt
slide.
off.
Wait until you guys see. It's not
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It's not me.
It's better than that. It's better than that. Yeah. Do you want to sit down, sir?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Hang on. Shut this off. You've got most of the reason for Ignite. You have audio now? Can you guys hear us still? Yes? No?
Nope.
Let me go. I'm gonna bounce out of my. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Now it's good. Yeah. Go ahead. There you go.
Team.
Hey,
We're not here. No, I got to change my speaker. I apologize. Stand by. Stand by.
that was very smooth.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Hi, team.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you? I love that you're doing regional Ignite. Ignite is, you know, I'd like to compare anything, but Ignite is one of my favorite.
You've heard of it. Yeah, you've
activity-based
heard of it.
classes, because this industry is about if you do the activities, you get the results at some level. So I love that you're here.
Awesome.
What else do you want to talk about? That was good.
That was good. It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions while we have you? Put it in the chat. Anything you want to know about? Yes, our competitor stock is at an all-time low this morning. And yes,
Oh.
four meetings about that this morning.
Judgy and accurate. I love that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're done.
The
I think
flavor.
You're here. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
seeing you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Awesome. All right, guys, we appreciate your time. Don't forget, session 2 resumes on Tuesday. So you're
Oh,
gonna use the
not
same.
tomorrow?
No, it is Tuesday. Yeah, Lisa, it is Tuesday. We pick up again after the holiday. It will go for the extension of the month. It's always going to be at 9 o'clock. Keep clicking the link. The videos for each session are going to get uploaded within 24 to 48 hours. And we're going to remind you 1,000 times and twice on Sunday before church, just come live. There's more meat on the bone if you're in the room live, because you get to ask questions in real time. And telling yourself you're going to watch a 2 or 3 hour video later. I don't know. So just join us live. We appreciate your time, guys.
Yep.
And thank you for investing in your. Thank you,
Yeah.
Susan.
So much.
Yeah, good luck out there. Go set an appointment.
Hey,
Thank-
what was that? What was he talking about? Stock was at a low? Something to do with KW?
Oh,
or
no,
something
no,
else?
no. He was joking about one of our competitors.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, we are privately held, so our stock is doing great because it's not. So yeah, we're a private company. He was joking about I don't know, pick one. Compass, EXP, they're all not doing great. So it doesn't really matter. Throw a dart at the board. The rest of us are suffering.
Right.
So we're thriving. Have a great day, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.